And I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text trade to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text trade to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text trade to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text trade to 76626.
This is one test that takes a lot of strength. The world's toughest foot race takes place in triple-digit temperatures in Death Valley, and we hear more for the story from correspondent Donna Warder.
Race director Chris Kosman says the 135-mile race is invitation only.
To even enter, the runners have to have completed at least 4 100-mile or longer ultramarathons over the last 3 years.
For runner Carla Kent of Las Vegas, this is her 12th year.
It's the challenge, and it's just the Badwater family.
44-year-old Luke Thomas says there's just one word to describe the race.
It's suffering. I mean, I think that's the best way I can put it.
Daytime temperatures reach as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and night heat is about 100. Race director Kosman says no runner has ever died during the race, but a few people have landed in the hospital. I'm Donna Warder.
You'll always find analysis and more news, and in breaking news, online at townhall.com. CrowdStrike has blamed a bug in an update that allowed its cybersecurity systems to push bad data out to millions of customer computers.
The bug set off last week's global tech outage that grounded flights, took TV broadcasts off the air, and disrupted banks, hospitals, and retailers. CrowdStrike also outlined measures it would take to prevent the problem from repeating. It includes staggering the rollout of updates, giving customers more control over when and where they occur, and providing more details about the updates that it planned.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting last week's problem centered around an undetected error in the content configuration update. The Justice Department has filed an agreement in which Boeing will plead guilty to a fraud charge for misleading regulators who approved the 737 MAX jetliner before 2 of the planes crashed. The agreement was filed Wednesday in federal court in Texas. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
We made
Woo-hoo!
it. It's Friday.
Bang a gong, everybody.
Yeah, busy day.
Yes, indeed.
It's a big day out at Chaves County Fair. It's the final day of shows, and of course the Junior Livestock Auction later on this evening. So kind of the climax, I guess, if you will, of the Chaves County Fair today. So get on out there. Of course, we will have live streaming and on-demand video of the livestock auction, all that good stuff. They help the kids, and they do those add-ons too. Because I get it, not all of us can shell out the kinds of money that some of these animals go for. But
right.
You can always chip in to help the kids out. You know, get a bunch of people to chip in $50, $100.
A lot of times, like one neighborhood will get together, you know, to like support that one kid.
A lot of that, and they always set records. And, each year they try to outdo, last year or the other counties. And I know there's a friendly rivalry between Eddy and Chavez County on who's raising more money at these auctions and all that. So get out there and support the
Kick
kids
their
today.
butts, people.
Yeah. Kid, of course, but get out there and support these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big thing happening today, at least in a lot of people's world. I've already seen like 3 things about it just since I woke up this morning. Today is the release date officially for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
People are losing their minds online.
I see that. Yes. I'm curious about something, and I wish I could tell you.
I understand what you're curious about, and I am curious about it as well.
Yeah, I didn't check this morning, but howdy, I'm going to check tonight.
There is one interesting thing that I noticed. Kind of, I've noticed it a little bit before, but it really stands out in this movie promotion cycle. Used to be when you were putting a movie out, when like Tom Holland had a new Spider-Man coming out or whatever. The press junkets would just be a series of them sitting in front of the movie poster answering questions.
Right.
That ain't it anymore.
No.
They don't do that anymore.
No.
Now, when you want to promote a movie, you have to go on every single person's gimmicky YouTube show. In the past, like 12 hours, I watched Hugh Jackman destroy himself because he's Australian. They don't eat anything spicy really to speak of, or he doesn't.
Was he on Hot
especially.
Ones?
He went on Hot Ones.
Okay.
Him and Ryan Reynolds both went on Hot Ones.
Together.
They were doing the junket together. That's why I noticed it more, because it's basically the whole thing is they're pitting them against each other in these games. And they did the Hot Ones thing with Sean Evans. And yeah, by like Wing 3, Jackman was melting. He was like, it was destroying him. But also, there was another one called Agree to Disagree, where they basically have to, figure out if they strongly agree or strongly disagree with whatever the topic is,
right?
And then drink based on that. So I'm like, these guys in the course of a press junket are getting smashed on one show. They're destroying their insides on another show.
Right.
How much do they just pine for the days of just sitting calmly in front of their movie poster in a chair answering softball questions?
Hoping Johnny lets them sit on the couch.
Answering the same 7 questions over and over.
Although I think they got to do both now.
Yeah,
because they've got to get a foot in both worlds.
Like for your entertainment weeklies.
And so now they're going to be sitting, like they'll be sitting on the daytime talk shows now. You'll see them showing up on your Kelly Clarksons and your Drew Barrymores and all that. And then you'll start seeing them on Kimmel. Because as a matter of fact, didn't they host Kimmel this week?
Probably.
I feel like
that's probably
like
a thing.
They like both of them hosted Kimmel one of these nights this week, or maybe all week. I don't know. But
it's sad they had to do Kimmel.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think Kimmel wasn't there. Like
couldn't get time on Fallon. Dang.
Yeah, they're hosting for Kimmel.
Right,
like Kimmel's on a beach somewhere, and hey, that's worked. Good. This hurts.
I hear sound.
I heard noise in the other room. That's working now. Good.
Right.
But it's like, wow, Jocelyn's voice got deep. But yeah, it's kind of but even like, and I think the marketing on this is different because I think everything Ryan Reynolds does marketing wise.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
he's the king of the guerrilla marketing campaign.
Yeah, and
Mint Mobile, all the stuff he does for them, the Aviation Gin. I mean, all his companies that he's behind, he fully backs.
Oh yeah,
he puts his face right up front and center. Wrexham. Oh, and that's the other thing. So yesterday, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were presented with a Guinness World Record because their trailer had the record number of views over all mediums, like be it the commercial at the Super Bowl, all the stuff online, social media, more views in 24 hours than any other movie before. So they got a world record for that. But in addition, Ryan Reynolds accepted another Guinness World Record because the Wrexham, the field that Wrexham plays on is the oldest pitch in
Wales.
In Wales, yeah.
Or probably in Europe or whatever. It's in Wales.
Consistently used field in Wales.
And that's kind of the deal with that team, because I've watched the FX show, Welcome to Wrexham. I've watched most of them. I think there's a couple of these last season I haven't watched. But and that's the whole premise, is that team was once like a Premier League team. That stadium is like a iconic, legendary stadium in that world. And over mismanagement and everything else, that team has been relegated to like one of the bottom unprofessional they're not even the professional tier anymore.
Right.
They are now.
They've worked their way up.
Yeah, since then. But when Ryan Reynolds and McElhaney took over, that was none of that. But yeah, that was the whole thing, was this deep history town, and
it was really cool though, because he accepted the honor on behalf of
the town of Wrexham loves those two like they're gods.
They've turned not only the team around, but I'm sure tourism in Wrexham has never been this high.
Oh yeah, that
people
team
just
went from
want
no
to
one
go
heard
to
of
see
it
the
to now
pitch,
it's
and
arguably one of the largest well-known soccer teams on the planet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right up there with your the big Premier United Monarchs, whatever those teams.
That's power I don't know that I could have.
Ryan Reynolds, man.
But that's like a power I don't even know if I want to just show up in a place and put them on the map.
Well, when you're well liked, it pays to be nice, and that's kind of Ryan Reynolds' deal. Is no matter whether you know what I mean, like no matter what you feel about his movies or any of that stuff, everyone's like, he's just a kind of a charming dude. You know what I mean?
He's rizzed up.
Listen, be like that guy, you know, and then you will do whatever you want. Pretty
Back in the day, we were all saying we wanted to be like Mike. Now I'm saying I want to be like Ryan.
That's right, exactly. You know, he's pretty much got kids. He's got parents. He's got everybody locked in. No one hates Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find someone. God, stupid Ryan Reynolds.
And if they do, they're probably just fucking. They're just going to be the party pooper.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, you're just ants at a picnic.
Yeah. The guy's delightful. What are you gonna do?
I love when phrases like that come up. Like I heard somebody the other day use the phrase, "You're like a bad penny."
Oh yeah, I love that one too. Keeps turning up.
Just keep turning up.
I think I said it the other day just to say it. I like to say them just to say it sometimes. You know, I kind of
just like it's kind of our way of bringing it back. If you guys are going to be walking around with your skibbity toilet Ohio Sigma nonsense, we're going to bring back bad penny.
That's right. What you gonna do with that?
That's right. Consarn it. Ooh. Oh.
Don't dag nab at me. Oh man. That's like there's a commercial and I haven't seen it in a while, but there was one for one of the Albuquerque radio stations, and it was talking about their lineup, and the guy, they're showing the afternoon drive guy just kind of sitting there reading copy or whatever he's doing, kind of pretending to work. And the guy's announcing, and then and he keeps saying, "Don't forget John Trout," or whatever his name is, in the afternoon. And the guy never does it. And then he finally gets mad, and he stands up, and he literally goes Looney Tunes. He goes, "Dag nabbit!" And he's mad, and he storms off. But it's weird because he storms off. And I don't know if anybody else caught this, but he's literally got a button-up shirt, like a button-up long-sleeve shirt.
Right.
And then he stands up, gets off. He's literally got Culotte Jam shorts on underneath, going, "Dag nabbit!"
I mean, honestly, you dress.
It's so radio.
You dress for camera because we're both wearing shorts.
Oh, it's so radio.
And flip-flops.
I mean, I'm like, that's only a radio image right there. But just he went full Looney Tunes. I was like, man, Elmer Fudd just rolled up. Dag nabbit!
Awesome. By the way, TJ Trout.
TJ, is that his name? I was something Trout.
Yeah, that was TJ Trout and Jared with the group, the duo that I listened to in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay. I have no idea who these people
are.
That
was the morning crew at first, so I guess he got moved to afternoon drive. I think that's a demotion.
It depends on how you look at it.
In my world.
Yeah. But anyway, and that commercial's not even new. It's been out for a couple of years. I just happen to remember it. And Dag nabbit came up. It reminded me of it. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. We had Jet Tucker join us on the phone yesterday to talk about old Lincoln days and the last Escapability the Kid pageant. That is happening in the village of Lincoln next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And if you've never been, I highly recommend it. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, especially if you love, Billy the Kid, you love the cowboys in the West and Lincoln, all that stuff. It's a really cool weekend. But we had a great conversation with Jet talking about the pageant and all of it's on store for next weekend. So we'll play that for you here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams will join us, and he'll give us an update what's happened at last county commission meeting and other things happening around Chaves County. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Tammy Alvarez with the Fine Arts League, the gallery, she's going to join us. They just had their Fine Arts League logo contest, and now they're kind of gearing up for year 2 of her big charity event where she's having local people paint various little pictures and kind of, do them for charity so they can do for their favorite charity there. She's going to start year 2 of that. So
nice.
She's going to join us. Tammy will join us at 9 o'clock hour and give us an update what's happening with the Fine Arts League there.
Very good.
Plus, we'll do all your features that include the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business update, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Did you get it all?
I think so. I think it was.
I feel like there's something else.
That was pretty much it.
Fair. Watch it. Go do it.
Wolverine.
Yeah, I got that one. Wolverine. I think we got it.
Old colloquialisms, bringing it back. Yeah, no, I think we did it all.
That's right.
All right, we're going home.
All right, we'll call it up. Turn out the lights. Party's over. All right, 7:18. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit above normal for the afternoon highs today. We'll be in the upper 90s, and we get lots of sunshine. We do have a little bit of moist air moving in overnight, so a slight chance of a thunderstorm. We'll be in the low 70s. Might see an afternoon thunderstorm on Saturday, a mix of sunshine and clouds, and it looks like we'll stay in the upper 90s. For Sunday, getting hot, sunny, and around 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 59% with winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Going to be warm, hot, actually sunny, 99 for a high today. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're giving us a 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms tonight. Mostly cloudy. Overnight low is 72 with southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. I don't expect much, but they're saying there's a chance. We'll see. Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 97 tomorrow. Winds out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny, hot, 102 for a high. Winds will be out of the south at around 10 miles per hour. For Monday, we're looking at 104 for a high, 104 on Tuesday, 106 Wednesday next week, and 103 on Thursday. So next week looking to be a scorcher as well. All right, it is 7:19. We're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break, and then we'll play our interview with Jet Tucker talking old Lincoln days and the last escape of Billy the Kid pageant, all that happening next weekend. We'll play that interview on the other side. Don't go away.
The Portales Summer Jam is coming to the ENMU campus courts Saturday, July 27th, starting at 9 a.m. This 3-on-3 youth basketball and pickleball tournament is open to all ages and skill levels. Registration is only $25 per person with military and student discounts available. Plus, trophies, prizes, music, food, and more. Space is limited, so head for Portales.com or call 575-356-8541 for more info and to sign up today. The Portales Summer Jam, Saturday, July 27th, starting at 9 a.m. on the ENMU courts. Presented by the Roosevelt County Community Development Corporation. This ad paid in part by Portales, New Mexico Lodgers Tax.
The fourth beatitude in the Sermon on the Mount reads like this: Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. A commentator paraphrased this verse as follows: Deeply joyful and spiritually whole are those who actively seek right relationship with God, and in so doing discover that He alone can completely save and satisfy their souls. What a great translation. Reliance on God and not ourselves is a recurring theme throughout the Beatitudes. This continues that theme. The comparison used is to a meal that does more than just fill you up, but completely satisfies every hunger and desire. The righteousness of God completely satisfies every need we have. People try to fill that need with everything but God, and that never seems to work. It never totally satisfies. There is always a hunger for something else to fill the void that is left if God isn't what fills us. Nothing works to completely fill that hunger. Come see us, learn how to satisfy that hunger in your life.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. But everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning, talking old Lincoln days, we have Jet Tucker joining us this morning. Good morning, Jet. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Doing good. Well, for folks that have been living in the area a while, you're probably pretty familiar with this, but folks new to the area, one of, I would say, annual tradition of Southeast New Mexico, and it always happens right around the first weekend of August, is Old Lincoln Days in beautiful Lincoln, New Mexico. And it's a 3-day festival of Lincoln, celebrating well, not celebrating, but recognizing and showing the history of the Lincoln County War. Obviously, the highlight of the weekend is always the last escape of Billy the Kid pageant, which they do a historical rendition of Billy the Kid's escape from the courthouse. They do shows of it Friday night, Saturday night, and a Sunday matinee. And the cool part is that pageant in and of itself is almost as historical as the events they're talking about in it. So it's just a really fun weekend. But Jet, that's kind of a surmise. I know there's a whole lot more going on there, but that's kind of the big highlights of Old Lincoln Days here. Talk about some of the things that I kind of skipped there.
Well, like I say, the pageant is the highlight, but there's food vendors, there's jewelry vendors, there's we have a parade on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, and
concerts.
Yes, sir. There's concerts before the pageant shows. Friday night and Saturday night they'll start at 7, and Sunday they will start at 11. Friday night we have Tanner Houston. He's a local musician from Cloudcroft, and he's got family all over Lincoln County. And then Saturday night we have La Ultima, and they are from Carazogo, and they do mixture of Spanish, country, rock, whatever.
Okay.
And then
a little something for everybody.
A little bit of something for everybody. Yep. And then my mind just slipped me who Sunday morning was.
Sunday you've got the
we have
dirt bags.
Those dirt bags, yeah. And they're about the same. They do a little bit of old rock and a little bit of country, and they're local bunch out of Ruidoso, and we've had them there before, and all the entertainment's excellent this year. So.
Oh yeah, that's one thing, and when you and usually with the concerts, how it works is you when you buy a ticket to the pageant, that you
buy a ticket to the pageant, you get into the concert.
Yes,
so,
that
yes,
your ticket price includes the concerts there too. So
yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
so
and
I'm sorry.
They'll play for about an hour. And then we'll have a little bit of administrative stuff. We do a Hall of Fame every year. Somebody that's gone above and beyond for the pageant group. We put them in the Hall of Fame, and it's actually my brother-in-law Kent McInnes that's going in this year.
Awesome.
And then,
of course, we've talked to Kent many years on the radio here about Billy the Kid, and he's been an integral part for many, many years, but life's called him into a different direction now. So
yes, sir, and we hate to. I mean, he's still around for the show, but we hate to lose his day-to-day input. But you can't stop somebody from bettering themselves. So.
Exactly, life takes you where life takes you, and you're just happy for them when they're going the path that they want to go. So.
Yep. And then we do that on Friday night. We do the Hall of Fame on Friday night. Saturday night we do a memorial to people that have played in the pageant past years that have passed on, and unfortunately we have 2 to do this year. So.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But
and Sundays, no offense to anybody, but we try to get everything done and get it over with so we can get everybody home and
back off the hill or other parts of the hill or whatever. Yeah,
back to school. And it used to be the matinee performance used to be at 3 o'clock. We moved it to 1 o'clock so people could get back. We have people that travel. We got people come from California, Kansas, from all over the United States to come and play in this deal. So we try to get it where they can at least get back part of the way home that afternoon.
Good deal. Now, I know one of the other traditions. Do you still do the Cowboy Church Sunday morning there too, or
yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir,
good deal.
We do that at 8 o'clock at the pageant grounds on Sunday morning.
Excellent. So if you want to start your day Sunday, come on out and have some church with them at 8, and then stick around for the parade shortly thereafter, and then the last performance there, and last performance there of the pageant grounds there. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. One thing we kind of I want to say pride ourselves on. We have kids that grew up doing this. They started when they was 2, 3, 4 years old, and they've done it all their lives. And as you say, life's taking them different places. But they schedule their vacations around the pageant to come home.
That's so cool.
To play in the pageant.
Well, and it means so much. Because if I'm imagining, if you're from Lincoln, I mean, it's just part of the fabric of you. You know what I mean? It's just part of it.
Pretty much Lincoln County, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not just Lincoln, but Lincoln County. Just for an example, my wife, this will be her 49th year doing this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. She and probably would do 49 more, right?
If she's able, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of love, and that's why I highly recommend it, especially if you've never been before. Come on and make next weekend, again, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, so it'll be next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come and make a weekend or make a couple day trips up to see all the stuff. Good news is Lincoln is full go. We've had the fires and the flooding in Ruidoso, and they've been impacted severely there. But fortunately for the village of Lincoln and everything there, no issues there. Billy the Kid, the old Lincoln days will be a full go. Plenty, no restrictions, no nothing. And matter of fact, I'm guessing some of those bands that were looking for places to play in Ruidoso now get to come and hang out in Lincoln for the weekend. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and of course we're always praying and just trying to help wherever we can for those folks in Ruidoso. But don't worry if you're coming. The fires and flooding has not impacted Lincoln, New Mexico, and old Lincoln days here. So all of that is game on this next weekend here. So
I just want to invite everybody out to have a good time and enjoy themselves. And if you've ever been through Lincoln during the week or a normal weekend, that sleepy little town looks like the middle of Albuquerque on that weekend. So
it is busy.
There's a bunch of people come out.
I also like, as a recommendation, if you've never seen the actual pageant, the Last Escape of Billy the Kid pageant, I highly recommend you make your first time either the Friday or Saturday night performances. Don't get me wrong, yes, the Sunday matinee is a great performance too, but those night performances, when they're done in the dark, there's another level with the darkness and then the gunfire. It adds another cool element to the performance.
Yeah, you can see the gunfire. You can see the some of them blinks are a little hotter than the others, and sometimes you can see the flame come out the end of the gun and all that stuff. And it's definitely better at night. But yeah, like I say, Sunday is well worth the money to go see.
If you're only available Sunday, then by golly, make it Sunday. But if you've got an option and you've never seen it before, I'd go try to catch a night performance the first time just to get that.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, but
and if you've seen it before, one thing to remember: it's a live show, so it's never the same.
It is never the same. But the beauty of it too is the script. The script that they use. It's a historical script. Many of the players in the actual pageant themselves are descendants or family of many of the participants in the Lincoln County War. It really is as historical as it is entertaining.
The script was written by like children or actual participants in the Lincoln County War.
That's amazing.
It's extremely historical, extremely period time correct. So yeah, it's we are the last existing folk pageant in the United States.
Yeah, it's kind of it's impressive but scary at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, what happens if you go away? You know.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what we really have problems with, and we got lucky, and we have a really, really, really good agent that works really hard year round in insurance. With everything going on in the United States and everything now, we hope and pray right up till the last minute that we can keep our insurance. If we lose our insurance, we're done.
Well, hopefully there's some insurance people that keep the fight going, and we can keep doing these things, because to me this is the history. It's fun. You're going to have a great weekend. If you leave hungry, it's your own fault. If you leave with energy, that's probably your own fault, because there's so much going on. You should be good, plumb, and tired by the time you leave. But but there's so much history there. It's living history, and what I love about it, the families are involved. So you're seeing the first generation, these young children that are getting involved, and 20 years from now, I hope these kids are the adults doing what guys like Jet and doing. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see.
Just for instance, my family, there's 3 generations. And my oldest grandson come up to me Tuesday night at practice and says, "Grandpa," he says, "it ain't going to be very long. I can ride a horse in this deal."
Oh, boy.
And I told him, I said, "When you get this tall," and I put my hand right at the bottom of my Adam's apple. I said, "When you get this tall, you can start riding a horse in this deal." And then I got to thinking, that's going to be next year.
I'm about to say, you just created something that you might know. Like, I just opened a can of worms.
but I mean, just for instance, my 2 grandsons, they eat, breathe, and sleep this pageant. That's all they talk about year round is pageant.
Well,
and so it's very special to a whole bunch of people. So
yeah,
we would like to share it with everybody, anybody that wants to come out. So
come on down.
I'm just putting a big invitation out.
Yeah,
we have food vendors, we have barbecue, we have donuts, we have hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever. We have a dedicated soda trailer. The Whole Foods donut shop from Roswell's going to be there.
Donuts. Can't go wrong with donuts.
It's never. And those little mini donuts, I guarantee you, I found myself every year on them.
It's really hard to be mad when there's people are eating donuts. You know what I'm saying?
No kidding. No kidding. But yeah, no, there's something for anybody wants to eat something. There's stuff for people. So, and there's other vendors down through town too. So,
and please
just come out and spend the day.
Absolutely. And history buffs come. There's going to be lectures throughout each days out there talking about various events and things, various locations. Some of the historical. Because the Lincoln County War was fought in these very streets you're walking up and down and having hot dogs and corn and all that other stuff.
The most dangerous street in America right there.
Absolutely. And so you come and learn that history and come see some of it. Please support the shops, those. This is probably like Black Friday for many of those mom and pop shops down in Lincoln that sell their wares and things, and they usually have some great pottery and all kinds of stuff. So support those businesses, because I'm going to guess like UFO Festival here in Roswell's our Black Friday. I'm going to guess Lincoln Days is kind of Lincoln's version of that. So
yes, and we can't forget our friends at the Bonita Valley Brewery too. If you get thirsty, they got all kinds of beverages there for young and old. They've got sodas and stuff for kiddos, and adult beverages for adults too. So
excellent. So when you get a little warm, or even though it'll be the cool pines, but you might get tired of walking, get a little hot, and need something to cool off with, they got you covered.
I believe too, I'm not for sure on this, but I believe Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, they're going to have music there at the brewery too. So
excellent. So plenty of stuff, plenty of fun, and plenty of places and everything. Now, the cost and everything. What for the actual pageant itself? You can get tickets for that. Friday night is an 8:30, and Saturday night those are 8:30 shows, and then the 1 p.m. on Sunday. I believe costs for those are $10 for adults. Children are $6, 6 through 12. If children are 5 and under, they get in for free.
That's correct.
That's for the actual pageant itself. The Last Escape of the Village. And the concerts, correct. But for the actual, if you just want to be a part of the deal, you can get tickets. I believe they're $7 a piece, and you can get them at the visitor center, at the courthouse, at the various places around town there.
Yes, so, to go through the museums for the state of New Mexico, you can get them at the visitor center, yes.
Yes, absolutely, too. And if you've got some extra time, when you get your passes for the courthouse and all that, and if you're going to be here for the weekend, go ahead and get the pass to go see Fort Stanton as well. And that way, when you're done looking at stuff and you're thinking, hey, let's get away from Lincoln and we'll come back tonight, go make a short trip over to Fort Stanton, and you could spend an afternoon seeing all the cool stuff over there, too.
Oh, heck yeah. Both of those historic sites are just amazing.
Absolutely. To be honest, I've been to Lincoln so many times, and I've only been to Fort Stanton once or twice, and every time I go to Fort Stanton, I really don't have enough time allotted to kind of go through every single, like, 'cause one of these days I'm going to spend the day and just go through every single building over there and walk through them and just nose around, because
you better a lot 2 days.
Yeah, that's true. I start to do it, and I get about an hour into it, and then everyone's ready to go, and I'm like, dang it.
Yep, no, I totally understand. So, but yeah, just like I say again, I just want to invite everybody out and have a good time, and there's something for everybody to do, and then watch the pageant at night, and hopefully it'll be cloudy, but it won't rain.
Absolutely. Folks, if you want to learn more information about everything and read up on some of the specific events, there's a couple if you're a Facebook user, there is a 2024 Last Escape of Billy the Kid pageant Facebook page. You type that in, type in Billy the Kid pageant, Lincoln. Yeah, it should pop right up, and that way it'll tell you dates, times, prices, what other events that are going to be going on throughout the town. That way you can kind of plot and plan what you want to do while you're there for the weekend. So,
yeah, I believe on that Facebook page there is a complete schedule of events that is on there.
Absolutely. That way you can see everything going and coming and all that. And so I'm kind of curious, Jet, how long have you been in, like, do you serve as a player in some of the pageants? Like, what's some of the stuff you've done over the years with the pageant? Or with
I started out 25 years ago working the ticket booth.
Okay.
And then I moved up to some riding parts and stuff. And then my wife and I got together and got married, and I moved in. Now her and I, we play Mr. and Mrs. McSween.
Ah, okay, the McSweens. Very cool.
And she is a member of the board of directors for the pageant committee, and I am the president of the pageant committee. So yeah, we're pretty involved.
Nice. Does it force you to, like you say, hey, this year, I mean, does it force you to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to do some more reading and research and trying to get this, does it kind of inspire you to say, all right, I'm going to even, imagine as a person there with Lincoln, you kind of have a pretty good knowledge of the McSween family, but now that you're like, well, I'm going to portray them, I need to do the deep dive and learn more about the intricacies of these two.
I'm always trying to learn more, and I'm a history buff anyway, so I'm trying to learn more. And what makes it interesting too is after Alex McSween got killed, Susan McSween moved to Three Rivers, and my family had a ranch at Three Rivers for years and years and years and years, so it kind of ties in both places. So
nice, kind of the small world moments, right?
Yes, sir.
Where everything just tied. Well, and to be honest, it happens more often than you think. It just, it's just everything just seems to be connected sometimes, and you don't. It just comes in weird places.
The old saying, "It's a small world," it's got more meaning than people think.
Absolutely here. And but here's the thing too I love about, especially with Billy the Kid, Lord, because there's so much energy around Billy the Kid, and we, for years, and of course, the controversies of Billy the Kid, whether he's actually in Fort Sumner or the Bushy Bill stuff. And I mean, there's been so many stories and things over the years that's made this, made the Lincoln County Wars, and particularly Billy the Kid, that much, still even to this day in the, I would say every American knows Billy the Kid, even if they don't, know all the details. Billy the Kid is a name in their Rolodex, their mental Rolodex,
Let me just put it this way. We have a sign-in book at the gate when we come in, and we encourage everybody that comes to the pageant to sign in. Last year, we had 33 different states and 7 different countries represented.
That is so cool. So cool that people love and embrace that history. And this is why, even though like arguably even to this day, probably, some of the more famous Hollywood, things about it is the Young Gun movies. And I always, now Now, I always tell people, movies are not where you get your history. Please don't get history from movies because you're going to get some weird history. But that being said, if that's the catalyst that sparks you into doing the research, then I'm all for that, Because
I agree. I agree 100%. Yep.
And like those Young Gun movies, and then yes, they're pretty entertaining and but there are elements of actual history in there. Like there's certain moments that actually happen that, how they portrayed in the movie might be a little bit different, but it's based on actual people in actual places. And then like when the house burns, like, oh, you can see that location in real life at the end of the movie, and all that kind of stuff.
You can see where it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the house is obviously gone because it burned, but you can see the location and see that.
yeah. But like Blazer's Mill, when they have the gunfight at Blazer's Mill, there's still part of Blazer's Mill at Mescalero, and there's the Tunstall store still in Lincoln, and there's a lot that after you watch the movie, you can go back to Lincoln and Lincoln County and Otero County and relate to the movie from what you've seen.
Yeah, there's another show that I think Starz put it out, and I have not watched it, so I have no idea if it's any good or not. But I'm weirdly curious. It's Billy the Kid. I think it's called Billy the Kid. And
it's a series. Yeah,
but it gets more into how he came to New Mexico, and it's all the stuff leading up to where he gets famous. At least the parts I've heard and seen.
Yeah, to be real honest with you, I tried to watch it and I couldn't.
Was it pretty bad? I have no idea. It was a different angle that I never heard before, so I was kind of uniquely curious about it.
Somebody from not here might really enjoy it, but I couldn't get into it. And that may be just me.
Sure. But again, it goes back to my point. If you're looking for accuracy, but if that's what got you interested in doing and learning more about Billy the Kid and all, then it's a win.
then heat that Google up and get it figured out.
There you go. Absolutely. But come see all this see the history living in front of you here in beautiful Lincoln, New Mexico, August 2nd, August 3rd, and August 4th. It's Old Lincoln Days featuring the pageant, The Last Escape of Billy the Kid pageant, which will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday matinee performances. Come see the village of Lincoln as it explodes into its biggest event of the year. It's so much. Trust me, it's so much fun. You get to go and walk. And you get to see the history. You get to hear the stories, the lectures. You get to separate some of the Hollywood versus what really happened, and see, because the movies do a great job of, portraying a Lincoln County war as far as the war and what it is, but it was a town divided. You had people on one faction, people on the other. Some houses were pro one side, some were pro the other. It was a very weird period of history.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of them deals where you'd want to be a fly on the wall and watch it all unfold.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially that 7 days, where the fighting and everything, and you're literally like going from house to house, holed up, and I mean, just could you imagine living in that for a week? That's crazy to me.
I think with my mindset and everything, I would try it.
Sure. yeah, I can see, but just the thought of thinking it's like, all right, we gotta hunker down. It's just something that we in today's world would never imagine something like happening.
No, I agree with you, and like I say, it like a fly on the wall deal.
Yeah,
to just watch it all unfold.
Sure. Well, that's the beauty of, and this is something I want to recommend to people. And I try to tell, and I say this every time, especially when I talk with politicians. We talk about New Mexico, and I'm not wanting to get in politically here, but I think most of us can agree that New Mexico politics is pretty screwed up, regardless of what side of the fence you're on.
I wasn't going to go there, but okay.
But I will tell you this. If you want to know why, I'll tell you. You want to learn why? Spend the day in Lincoln, New Mexico, and just read. Read everything in the museum. Read everything in the courthouse. Read the signs. It tells you exactly the lay of the land, why New Mexico's the way it is with the cattle ring and the cabals and all the other stuff, why New Mexico's screwed up, because it was screwed up from the beginning, and that history's right there.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you.
So come see that too. Come and enjoy all the stuff, but spend time in the courthouse and in the museums, and come see and come read the signs and read the different, and then you're looking, once the Lincoln County War, it's like, shoot, everybody had a badge in this thing. What's going on? And you're like, oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. So come celebrate Old Lincoln Days, August 2nd, August 3rd, and August 4th. Again, just type in Last Escape of the Billy Kid, Lincoln 2024 on Facebook. You'll find the page. You can see all the information, times, costs, everything else. And then I believe, is there, and they can get tickets for everything right at the gates there at the doors. They can get them, they don't have to get them in advance, do they?
No, they can get them all right there at the door. And the wonderful people from PVT actually got us fiber optic internet to the ticket booth, so we can do cards and stuff now. And
what happened? Y'all getting high tech now?
Yeah, Old West has kind of gone to the side in certain ways. So.
That's right.
But yeah, you can get all your tickets for the pageant stuff there at the pageant grounds. And like I say, if you want to go through the museums and stuff like that, then you'll have to go to the visitor center. But them people from the state be more than happy to help you out.
Absolutely.
And any questions you have, you can get a hold of me. I'll be around the pageant grounds there. Just ask anybody; they'll know where I'm at. And then, as far as the monuments and museums and stuff, well, any of them guys from the state can answer any questions that you have. So.
They'll be happy to help you, the Park Service and all that. But please come out, come support, come visit the businesses, come see all the fun, come hear the lectures, come be a part of the demonstrations. Definitely don't want to miss the concerts, and don't want to miss the Last Escape of Billy the Kid pageant. It's a lot. Trust me, especially if you've never been before, it's really cool. It really is a celebration of what Southeast New Mexico really is. And so come be a part of it. Come see the history. Come get the lore. Bring the kids. I guarantee they're going to have all the fun with the pop guns and all the, cowboys. And, it's just part of the fun, man. So just come.
That's one thing I need to mention is in the pageant grounds, due to safety, we don't allow any kind of toy guns, any kind of anything.
Makes sense.
So if you buy something in town and you get ready to come to the pageant to save you a trip back to your car, well, just leave all of the weapons back. And for safety reasons, we don't care whether it's a pop gun, a toy gun that don't shoot, don't make no noise, whatever. Sure. We can't allow weapons in there. So.
Absolutely. That's it. Well, that's when we want everyone to come and be entertained and enjoy the show. But safety is never compromised when it comes to these kinds of things.
Safety is number one over everything. So.
Absolutely. And this is something, and this is why there's such the success that they've had with this over the years, because they are shooting actual firearms in this performance and everything else. So it's, so there is, that added effect, but these are farmers and ranchers have been doing this their whole lives. This is what they do. They're trained professionals. That's what they do, and let them. And so when it comes to guns in the room, their word is law, just for the safety and for everyone there on that. That's just got to be that way. So
and I mean, I know a little kid wants to go in there and flash their toy gun, but we just I apologize to everybody, but we just can't allow it.
Sure,
so.
It's when you get outside, get home, you get in the car, and bang, bang, bang to your heart's content.
they can play Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett all the way home.
That's right, rolling around under the barrels and under the rocks and what have you, and having fun with that too.
That's it. So
good deal. Jed, is there any information, anything that we definitely wanted to share that we just skipped over? I got sidetracked on.
I think we pretty much covered everything. That's the main thing, is getting people out to experience it and have a good time. I mean,
it's so much fun. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. You're going to go, and you're gonna go one thing, and then you're like, man, I didn't realize this was all here. I didn't know. Oh wow! And then you learn the history, and it's such impressive. It's really, this is some of these are those hidden gems of New Mexico, and it's one of these is that Billy the Kid pageant and Last Escape of Lincoln.
We have over 100 volunteers that it takes to make this thing go.
Yep, and
they're all volunteer.
And that's why it's awesome, because it literally is a labor of love. It is a community's labor of love. It's like you were talking before, your kids, grandkids. It's almost like a rite of passage to be a part of this in Lincoln, New Mexico.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You know, I mean, we have several new players this year, and they're like, well, we want this part. Well, you got to work your way up into that part.
You can't just roll up in here. You got to earn it.
yeah, you got to. Well, that's exactly right. You got to earn it. And if you come this year, decide you don't like it, and we cast you in one of the major parts, then we got to train somebody next year to. We do it on I don't know how I want to say it, the not the honor system, but
you got to you earn your keep. You get in there, and then tenure. And as you tenure, exactly, as the more you do it, the more experience you get. You get you actually, but with that comes more responsibility too. We talk about you get good parts in this thing, but you get more responsibility because people are relying you to do more now because you're a little more experienced in it. So it's part of the growth process. You start at the bottom level, and then one day you can be Billy the Kid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's very interesting to watch. We started practices a week ago Tuesday night, and from Tuesday all the way to this Tuesday, we practiced this week, last week Tuesday and Thursday, this week Tuesday and Thursday, and then next week Monday and Wednesday, and then the show. And it's very amazing to watch the transformation from all the new people and learning their parts and where they're supposed to be and all this other stuff. And it just, people think, okay, there's no way that this will fall into place on Friday night, but Friday night everything just falls into place and it works good. So
it's just a well-oiled machine when it comes. It might be no matter how many rough edges leading into it. It just seems to be a well-oiled machine by the time the curtains go up, so to speak.
And it's like I said earlier, it's a live show, so it's going to be different every time.
Absolutely.
You may have a horse that works perfectly good on Friday night, and Saturday night he's not feeling it. Could be a pretty good rodeo.
That's right. What they say, never work with animals or children, and that's why.
Never predict animals and children.
When it comes to showbiz, that's right. But
that's it.
And I do want to remind folks too, like you said, there will be gunfire during the performance, so people sensitive to loud noises, things, please be aware that will be a part of the performance. So if you have issues with that, please know going in that will be taking place.
That's another something I wanted to mention is pets. A lot of people, and I totally understand, I'm a dog lover. I got 4 of them with me right now, but during the performance with all the gunfire and everything, it's recommended that you either leave your pets at home or have a place in the cool to leave them during the show. So,
absolutely. Yeah, it's just they probably would appreciate it a little bit, especially if they're, those certain pets are sensitive to thunderstorms or lightning and those kind of things.
Exactly.
This could be an issue there, so.
Exactly. So that's just something else I wanted to mention too. So
yeah, and that's the thing I want to do is because when an animal's scared, it'll do amazing things, and that's the last thing you want happening going on out there that night. So
and once we shut the lights out at the padding ground, it gets all dark when you're trying to look for your dog.
Absolutely, and everyone's listening for a jingle from the tags.
Exactly.
Oh, good deal. Well, Jet, thank you so much for calling in. I'm sure you got about 10 different fires to put out right now, so I'll probably let you go do that. But folks, come see us. Come make Lincoln, New Mexico your destination here August 2nd, August 3rd, and August 4th. All day, each day. Sunday it'll wrap up about, the pageant will be at 1:00, and it's pretty much over after that last pageant thing on Sunday there. So, but all weekend.
By 4:00 Sunday afternoon, you'll never even know anything took place.
That's right. It'll look back to the quiet town it normally is when the 3 days are not going on.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Jet. We appreciate it. We'll see you up there next weekend, and hopefully we're talking about this for 20 minutes. Hopefully we're talking to that point where your grandkid is the Billy the Kid or one of the major players in the pageant here.
Yes, sir. Yes, awesome. Sir. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Have a great day, Jet. Take care.
You too. Talk to you later.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Jet Tucker with Old Lincoln Days and Last Escape of the Billy Kid. I'm telling you, it's really cool. I'm a bit of a mark because I like, even before I moved to New Mexico, I was a fan of the Young Gun movies, and so I loved them. I didn't think much of them as far as historical, just kind of, but then I went to Lincoln the first time and saw these like, holy cow, that was actually, that thing in the movie was real. And so, yeah, I never get history, but for me, that's those Young Gun movies were what enamored me with, the Billy the Kid and the lore of it. And then coming here and moving here years later, not, connecting that and seeing more of it just kind of solidified it for me. But I'm telling you, Lincoln Days is really fun. If you've never been, go check it out. August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. All right, it is 8:50. We're going to pause for local news and your Lou Dobbs update. I'm sorry, I need to stop calling it that. The Red Apple business update, and then a quick break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
A new contract with major game studios broke down over artificial intelligence protections. The strike began at 12:01 a.m. Friday. It's the second strike for video game actors and performers under the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. It comes after nearly 2 years of negotiations with gaming giants. Union negotiators say gains have been made over wages and job safety, but that the game studios will not make a deal over the regulation of generative AI. The California Supreme Court ruled Thursday that app-based ride-hailing and delivery services like Uber and Lyft can continue treating their drivers as independent contractors rather than employees. Unanimous decision by the state's top court is a big win for the tech giants. Stocks rose 0.36% Thursday. The Nasdaq dropped 160 and the S&P fell 28. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bernie Bennett in Washington.
I read a quote once that said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:59. Town Hall News is coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to talk Chavez County biz. Of course, we'll have we may have Bill Williams, but we'll have County Commissioner Derry Dana join us for sure, and maybe Bill as well here. But if not, Darren's more than capable of handling the fort here today. So we'll get highlights from last county commission meeting, other things happening around the county. That's all coming up next hour. Don't forget the 9 o'clock hour, Tammy Alvarez with the Fine Arts League will join us, talk a little bit about, they just had their logo contest, and they're gearing up for their next fundraising event, their annual deal here. So we'll talk about that with them in the 9 o'clock hour. It's you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron Till. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet with Donald Trump later today at his resort in Palm Beach, Florida. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has more.
The former president said he looks forward to welcoming the Israeli leader at Mar-a-Lago following Netanyahu's visit to Washington, where he addressed Congress and met with both President Biden and Vice President Harris. This will be their first meeting since the end of Trump's presidency. The two men enjoyed close ties when Trump was in the White House, but the former president has criticized Netanyahu for the security failures around the deadly October 7 Hamas attack. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A former president and first lady endorsed Vice President Harris today. Correspondent Bernie Bennett has more on the story.
Former President Barack Obama endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic presidential nominee, saying in a statement with Michelle Obama, the former First Lady, that they would do everything they can to elect Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. Harris accepted Obama's endorsement in a phone call, a video of which her campaign released Friday morning. Harris is making plans to name a running mate by August 7th, according to 4 people briefed on the plans, as she aims to compress the usual months-long vetting process into just over 3 weeks. Since Mr. Biden's departure from the race on Sunday, she has swiftly unified Democrats behind her campaign,
and meeting that deadline would allow her to enter the party's convention with the ticket fully set. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Also at townhall.com, a federal grand jury in California has charged activist short seller Andrew Leff with multiple counts of securities fraud for a $16 million stock manipulation scheme. The Department of Justice said in a statement yesterday that Leff, who is a securities analyst, trader, and guest commentator on many television shows and platforms, is charged with 1 count of engaging in securities fraud, 17 counts of security fraud, and 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Government debt is now... There's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Announced a recall in the United States.
The automaker says the recall of 291,000 SUVs is because the interior cargo rails can detach in a crash, increasing the risk of injury. The recall covers certain X3 SUVs from the 2018 through 2023 model years. BMW says in documents posted by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that it will replace the rear cargo rail bolts that attach to the vehicle body. The company says in rare cases the body could be damaged. It's not known whether there have been any injuries due to the problem. BMW plans to notify owners of the recall by letter starting in late August. I'm Mike Hempen.
Ford Motor Company's second quarter net income fell 4.7% from a year ago as the company's combustion engine unit saw pre-tax profits decline due to stubbornly high warranty costs. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The IOC has approved the French Alps bid, backed by President Macron, to host the 2030 Winter Olympics.
The French Alps is named as the 2030 Winter Games host by the International Olympic Committee, though with conditions attached and sign-off required from whoever's the next Prime Minister of France. National governments in Olympic host countries need to formally underwrite financial and security promises that are essential to organise and run the Games. David Lepartillon, president of the French National Olympic and Sports Committee, tells the AP President Emmanuel Macron will respect the bid's commitments.
He said clearly today that he will instruct the new Prime Minister to sign the guarantee. So we are quite confident that we will satisfy the conditions mentioned by the IOC.
I'm Charles Dilladesma.
Military veterans have spent years lobbying for the use of psychedelic drugs to treat PTSD, but a sharply critical review of the club drug, MDMA, has put the therapy's list on hold. More stories at Town.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. I like saying this one. Happy Friday, everybody.
It's the best one of the week to say.
It is sure is the best. It's all
rolls off the tongue.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I put a little bit of enhanced joy on Monday that I don't necessarily feel. But Friday, it's more authentic.
Happy Monday.
Yay, you got 5 more days of this. But Friday, it goes down smooth. But yeah, happy Friday, everybody.
Yes. Happy Olympics Friday.
Olympics Friday. Right. It's kind of a start of one thing. The end, of course, the county fair, Travis County Fair. The folks in Eddy County, those fairs are wrapping up here. Tonight's big night out at the fairgrounds, the livestock auction. So we will have live streaming video and on demand, but please get out there tonight. Bid, because I don't think you can bid via the video, but you can when you're in the building. So go get in there and bid and help. And I always want to remind them, because I get it. You get in there and you start seeing some of the numbers thrown around. You're like, I can't afford that. Partner up. A lot of times, friends or neighbors or whatever get together and each chip in $50, $100, and you get enough of those, and next thing you know.
Now hold on, I've seen that episode of The Simpsons. You get 3 friends and you bid on a cow. Does each person get the cow on alternating weekends?
Like the Stanley Cup, yes.
Yeah. When Martin, Milhouse, and Bart all fought over the comic book, that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know how that exactly
works. Or do you just
get?
Does each person get a third of beef?
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. Dara knows. All right, Dara, you explain it to me.
You just get the joy of helping a young person out. Because the first time I got on the county commission, Commissioner Ezell said, okay, now we bid on a cow. And I was like, all excited. Okay, I want 2 steaks, hamburger.
She's putting orders in.
I am.
I'm a porterhouse gal.
Exactly.
I don't know about y'all. But
And he looks at me and goes, no, it doesn't work that way. And I went, well, I'm bidding on a cow. I want some beef. And he said no. So
at least get some
every
ground
year.
beef or something.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
some consolation beef.
We do get the young person that we buy the cow from. They come to our county commission meeting and give us thank you notes and give us little, somethings just to say thank you and everything. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, I was so excited. But yeah, your county commissioners help out too. We
pitch in.
We pitch in. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of like the pie auction at the FFA. The first time I went, I was like, oh man, I'm going to get this pie for $5, $15, $20. No. 1,500, 2,000, and I'm like this. And I told my daughters, keep your hands to yourself. We are not buying a $2,000 pie.
That is one pricey slice.
Yeah.
We'll get the hostess on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get you a fruit pie at the corner store. Okay?
Yes, but keep your hands to yourself. But yeah, it's always fun, and yeah, you just pull together and have a good time.
But it's good for the kids, and
it's wonderful. The kids,
and generally the seniors, the older kids, it's usually for college, but the younger kids, it's for their next year's project, whatever they decide to do for next year's 4-H or FFA project.
You know, once the sale's over, they're all in the back just flashing wads of cash, showing off numbers of checks.
What's fun about 4-H and FFA, and I tell everybody this all the time, is you don't have to raise animals, because when my daughters came home, okay, Mom, we want to join, 4-H and stuff like that. And I went, no animals. I raised so many animals when I grew up. And I said, I got dogs and cats out there that you guys don't feed.
Right.
And they're like, oh, no, so you don't. I mean, that's, I think, a misnomer that people have. Well, I don't want my kids involved because we can't raise animals because we live in the city. Oh, no, there's so much
agriculture, homemaking.
Yeah. And they do pets, too. There's a pet category. So even if you got your dog or cat.
I watched the pet show on this live stream.
And they get all kinds of quote-unquote pets in the, the pets category.
They do.
I mean,
but
snakes to gerbils to everything in between.
But it's sewing or baking or whatever. And the leadership skills they get is
the parliamentary procedure and all that.
Interviewing. They don't do interview in school anymore. And so they did this
It's all
with
part
the
of
kids.
4-H and FFA now.
Yes, it's great. So, you don't have to have an animal.
Well, and these are the future. I'm telling you. This is something that, y'all like eating. Y'all enjoy your steaks and your tomatoes and your green chili and all these things. these you're training the next generation.
That's right.
Of
Yes.
that. And these kids are going to be, the people of this generation are facing the problem of less
yes.
farmers and more mouths to feed.
Right.
It's going to be 10 times worse when these kids are running these farms and ranches.
Yeah,
So
and hopefully they'll learn,
Yeah.
taking over the family farm. Because I've heard it from my constituents that own dairies. My kids don't want to own the dairy anymore, and it's like, I know, but we got to train them up. Guys.
The ones that are eager, it's good to see that they're implementing farm science into things and kind of modernizing their the old ways of doing things and simplifying and modernizing. It's amazing to see how technology's kind of had an effect on the
It
field.
really has. I mean, soil composition, just going to the master gardeners and all that. I mean, I thought, you just put some dirt in you, but no, there's a science to it. That's why I can't grow anything.
Exactly. I'm a horrible gardener.
They know pH balances and like oxidation.
Don't water. Is your water good? My water's horrible.
Right. Our next generation of Jim Gills out there.
Yes, there you go.
You mean like out the toilet? Yeah.
Yes.
That's me talking. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so get out there and support these kids. That's kind of the more, and
Yes.
and of course, there's one more day of fair here for this week, and then I guess we look to. I guess here in this part of the world, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, the kids will look toward the state fair here.
State fair coming up.
Man.
Can you believe it's almost
Right?
No, I cannot.
Yes, this year has gone. It's just
I have
great.
only
And
a few scant days of being a
August.
30-something.
That's right. He's going to be big 4-0
Yeah.
here.
Oh my gosh, Sean.
In like
week or two.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sean,
I know. My hips are already going.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
roll
it's all
out of
downhill
bed going, ow, that hurt.
It's all downhill from here.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Very much so.
Various things. It's like, I didn't even know I had that muscle and it hurts now.
Yes. Yes.
You got your upper dorsimus, your quadrimus.
Yeah. Back in our day, it was Bengay smelling like, and now it's like they're making it to where it doesn't smell, so you can wear it.
The
People
smell
don't
has shifted
know.
from Bengay to weed.
Yes,
it just always
very
smells
much.
of weed.
Yeah, it's true. So
is
true.
But definitely get out there this week, and probably should get the hour going on.
Yep.
I just saw. I see.
Yes,
there's Bill.
there's Bill.
I see. That's why I have
Bill.
This is the beauty of my door with the glass. It has
I
the
can
door is
see.
angled just right. I can see people swimming in it,
I can
swinging in
see
and out.
people
but
coming through.
Yeah, it's kind of my little right there. It's perfect. I know who's in the door, who's out the door there. So it is 8:14. Yes, we got of course County Commissioner Dara Dana with us. Chaves County Manager Bill Williams as well. So we'll talk county business here in just a few highlights from last county commission meeting, other things happening around Chaves County this morning. We'll talk about it. But first, let's get you up to date on I Wish I Had Better News, the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit above normal for the afternoon highs today. We'll be in the upper 90s and we get lots of sunshine. We do have a little bit of moist air moving in overnight, so a slight chance of a thunderstorm. We'll be in the low 70s. Might see an afternoon thunderstorm on Saturday, a mix of sunshine and clouds, and it looks like we'll stay in the upper 90s. For Sunday, getting hot, sunny, and around 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 50% with winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Hot. That's what we got. And pretty much for the foreseeable future, nothing but. 99 today under sunny and hot conditions. Winds will be out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. I'm going to pray, but they're saying there's a 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms this evening. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Just that little window tonight. So I don't know what, maybe an errant cloud of containing water will move through the area. I don't know. For Saturday, partly cloudy, hot, 97 for a high. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 71 degrees. Sunny and 102 for your Sunday. South winds at around 10 miles per hour. And it gets warmer from there. Monday, mostly sunny, 104. Tuesday, sunny, 104. Wednesday, sunny, 106. Thursday, sunny, 103. So all I can say is I'm sorry. It is 8:16. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll talk county business, hopefully better than the weather. their news. We'll be back. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
When others say no, Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
The bank manager is at Roswell Hyundai for a short time to say
yes.
No social security number or ITIN number?
Yes.
No driver's license?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
If you have a job that earns at least $12 an hour, Roswell Hyundai wants to say
yes.
Roswell Hyundai wants 100% approval, which means they want to say
yes.
to you.
Yes.
Get zero down,
yes.
zero payments till fall,
yes.
plus up to $4,000 more for your trade.
Yes.
On now at the home of Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Yes!
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select Hungry Man dinners are 2 for $7, and select 6-packs of Nissan Top Ramen are 2 for $4. In produce, red or green seedless or red globe grapes are $1.99 a pound, and yellow onions are 3 pounds for $1. In the meat department, baby back pork ribs are $2.88 a pound, and bone-in quarter loin pork chops are $1.88 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
The Portales Summer Jam is coming to the ENMU campus courts Saturday, July 27th, starting at 9 a.m. This 3-on-3 youth basketball and pickleball tournament is open to all ages and skill levels. Registration is only $25 per person with military and student discounts available, plus trophies, prizes, music, food, and more. Space is limited, so head for Portales.com or call 575-356-8541 for more info and to sign up today. The Portales Summer Jam, Saturday, July 27th, starting at 9 a.m. on the ENMU courts, presented by the Roosevelt County Community Development Corporation. This ad paid in part by Portales, New Mexico Lodgers Tax.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, we have, you heard earlier, giving us a great talk. She explained to us about you don't get to eat the meat.
Yes, I was listening as I was driving.
But, of course, we have
sadness.
Chaves County Commissioner Dara Dana with us, and also Chaves County Manager Bill Williams. Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah,
doing
it
good?
was, 63 degrees at my house this morning, and the doggies were happy. I was happy. I mean, when it's cool before the heat.
Yeah, it's nice now.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while we got it.
Yeah,
but,
get out and pull your weeds now.
This will change.
Yeah, it gets hot.
Absolutely. But I don't know, do you guys I know, of course, busy with the week, and, you were in Texas here, but do you guys do get out to the fair at all during the week at all?
I made it out there for the sheep show on Wednesday morning, I think. I missed the calf show yesterday. I was hoping to go, but we had a county commission meeting.
That's right. There was other pressing matters to take care of.
Yes. Well, I watched the pet show online, and it was so cute. Sometimes I can't go because I found if I do go, I'm going to go home with something. And I'm at capacity on everything at my house, so I need to stay away.
Right, the Noah's Ark is full.
Yes, it is. So I kind of have to watch from afar.
Gotcha. Yeah, for the safety of all concerned.
Yes.
But yeah, of course, like I said earlier, we got one more day of it. Of course, this is the big day with the auction tonight and all that. So get on out there and support these kids. And like I said, we'll be live streaming at KSVP TV, but you can't bid online, so you got to be there to bid.
Yeah, and as Dara told you, the county commission always bids and purchases. No stakes, but they do help out.
Yes.
Absolutely. Support. Each year you find one. And that's what's the cool thing about this is every year, because it gets a little friendly competitive, these numbers and things, trying to outdo, say, Eddy County and their junior livestock auction. And so there's a lot of fun with that. But some people get into this, and there's a lot of money that gets passed. And sometimes it's just fun to be a fly on the wall and watch it happen a little bit.
Yes, like I said, the first time I was, I quietly slinked my way out to the car going, I didn't bid. I didn't. It wasn't me.
Watching the shows and being in the barns before the shows, I was out at the fairgrounds quite a lot in the late 70s and early 80s for showing and that
young
kind of
Bill
thing.
himself was out there with his cows and his lambs.
Yeah, in the 80s, just go to watch Friends and be the big guy. But in the 70s, we were out there, and the sophistication of the way these kids raise these animals and the detail they go to, they deserve a big payday when they win. They deserve a big payday when they don't win. They need it probably, but
you want to have faith in our youth again and all that. If you're feeling disheveled about that, go hang out at the fair and talk with the 4-H and FFA kids.
Right.
Well,
by the time you're done talking to them, you're like, man, these kids really are just sharp individuals.
And watch the kids in the show ring.
Yep.
They're all dressed nicely. They don't go out there. They don't have their pants down around their knees and ankles. They've got button-up shirts.
Yep.
And
they are just well-rounded kids, boys and girls that come up there.
It's a great representation of
Mom
everything.
made them wash behind their ears.
That's right.
Everything. I mean, it's the full deal.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's so, I almost feel like I got to behave myself when I'm in there. I'm like, man, I'm too classless to be in this room.
That's why I showed rabbits when I was a kid. I had grand champion flop-eared rabbits. And in Alamogordo, it was always really, really hot during our fair. And I just felt so sorry. My poor bunny rabbits, I'd go in and go, it's okay, we're almost finished. By the time we got home, they were just like, do we have to? But yeah, I had bunny rabbits. I wasn't going to do the big animals. So
you didn't
I
end
stuck
up with more bunny rabbits, did you?
Oh my gosh.
What happens with bunny rabbits.
Yeah, we decided to raise California Satins, another project of my dad. And yeah, I walked in there one day and there was lots of bunny rabbits. So I told my dad, this is enough. I'm done.
You ever say that? You get two, you got more.
It's like, do I have to? Because I'd have to ride my bike from my house over to where up at the stables where the bunny rabbits were. And then we decided to move the bunny rabbits to our backyard. And that was a disaster because we had every dog in the neighborhood wanting our bunny rabbits. So.
Man, lunch is served.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah.
That's part of growing up. But that's kind of the fun of it all, too. So,
it is. You learn a lot.
Absolutely.
You learn the cycle of life, the hardships, the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is these kids learning their way into life here.
Yes,
and that's what
they
they're
do.
Doing, so.
It's a great thing.
So go support it.
Yes.
But nonetheless, there was a county commission meeting this week. Now, it was a week off the normal schedule because
that's right. We try to push that July meeting back. It just gives our finance department a few extra days because the purchasing and everything ends at the end of June, but they've got to get all the receipts in. They've got to get the stuff from the credit card companies or whatever and reconcile all that so that the final budget has actual real numbers of what transpired the previous fiscal year.
Gotcha. So it gives them that week allowed.
It gives them a little extra week so they don't have to rush.
Because of the July deadlines and everything that come on with budget, which now we're full in, budget's done, all the commission and everything and the staffs. I mean, they might be doing a few button-up putaways, but everyone else is kind of packing that up and it's like, well, we'll worry about this next year.
Right. And the other thing you'll notice is this is a really long agenda. And it's a meat and potatoes agenda, you might say. It's a lot of boilerplate stuff we have to do every year, renewing leases and agreements and things. They only run for a year, and Some of them have to be rewritten and passed through legal. Others, they have a provision where they can be re-signed for up to four times. I mean, you can go a maximum number of years on them. But we have to do that every year, whether it's a re-signed one or whether it's a new one, and we have to approve agreements.
Sure.
And so that takes a while.
And that's all part of the new
stuff.
fiscal year now that,
Right.
for folks that, they run on the fiscal year, which, here in July, this is the new year and all that. So budget-wise and money-wise, that's how it flows, and,
Right.
not the calendar year. So
And we don't just, July 1st starts, so we just start, spending money or doing whatever. I mean,
Right.
we have all of our steps we have to go through to ensure that we're compliant with
it's just that
any
time
and
of year
everything.
where you
So
do all these things.
All the paperwork has to be done, and we don't just say, well, we'll get that next month. I mean, it's done immediately.
Yeah, this is it's meat and potatoes housekeeping, but very necessary. Without this month, none of the other months can happen.
Exactly.
And I have to give a shout out to Commissioner Bilberry. He's our chairman, and man, can that guy move us through a meeting?
Good.
Yes.
You can
There's
greatly
no
appreciate.
lollygagging, except for when Commissioner Dana has all these questions, and then I get the Mrs. Potato Head angry eyes from everybody else.
Can't you ask later?
I don't know.
But I can appreciate having served on several boards. When someone's running a meeting and they expedite, that's a skill set that we all can appreciate and love.
Right, we do. And of course, as we usually do, we had presentations from our local groups that we support and that support our community. They usually give us monthly updates. The exception this month being the 4-H and Cooperative Extension, because they, of course, were busy at the fair.
It's a busy month this month for them, yeah.
And then after those updates, we often will have a presentation from someone, and we did. Yesterday we had a presentation from Miles Culbertson, and he was talking about Convention of States, which I think I mentioned it with you last month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting concept where the states can decide Congress isn't being responsive to our needs, and so they can petition. You have to have 2/3 of the states, which would be 38 of the states, have to come forward. They have to have the same exact request of Congress, and so there are 3 requests.
United Front.
Right.
Yes.
And you present that to Congress, and they have to convene a Convention of States. Now, the Convention of States doesn't have any voting power or anything else. All they do is
Put them back to the table.
Facilitate the Congress putting together bills that would go back out to the states to be confirmed. So they don't even vote on it. They just put together the bills to make the changes they're requesting. They send them to the states. The states vote on them individually, and if 2/3 of the states agree to that, then it becomes law.
Okay.
And you take Congress totally out of the... And the reason they did that is they said they were in their 11th hour. They were just finishing up the Constitution and getting ready to go back to their farms and businesses. And somebody says, wait a minute, before we leave, what would happen if they said, no, we're not doing that?
Right.
How do we correct that? Mm-hmm. And, they're very intelligent people to think of what could happen 250 years in the future.
Play all the what ifs.
And say, if that were to happen, how could the people resolve that? Because this is a nation built for the people and run by the people, not by the politicians or the elite or the dictators. And so there's a movement, and there are currently 19 states that have signed on to it, requesting that Congress, the first one is stop the runaway spending.
Right.
And these topics aren't defined, and that would be the role of Congress, and the Convention of States would assure that the roles were defined and then put into whatever appropriate bills and sent to the states. First thing is stopping the runaway spending that's affected us all. He said in 6 years that the spending had gone from 16 million to, was it 36 million, 38 million? Or trillion.
It's
I'm
trillion.
sorry.
We're talking with a T. It's
in
ridiculous.
6 years, that's how much our national debt has grown.
Wow.
And so, that's a big concern, of course. Mm-hmm. The second concern was overreach of the federal government. Now, that's any number of ways you can see that. Any type of agency is going to do it differently. I went to a meeting last night in Littlefield, Texas, had about 700 people there because the Texans aren't used to the federal government trying to impose their will on them, because there's only 1.7% of Texas is federal lands, very small amount. as compared to New Mexico, the total number is...
They own most of the state, it seems like, yeah.
I think it's 37% of New Mexico is federal lands. And then you have state lands on top of that.
Sure.
But Texas, having been a republic, a little different thing, so they had a much smaller number.
Yeah.
But the federal overreach of this 6,000-acre national wildlife refuge in Texas, and they have a remote refuge just over the line into New Mexico, 6,000 acres, and they need $7 million to continue doing their work. So that has gotten some people's attention. And of that $7 million area of concern, whatever they're calling it, they want to either purchase or lock up 700,000 acres. And usually when Congress approves buying something, it goes before the whole Congress. These types of actions that they're doing now are just overreach. It's an agency decides, I want 7 million more acres. Well, don't we have to ask Congress? No, we'll do it this way. And so we've been fighting that on several fronts, but the meeting last night was a good example of their second thing that they're requesting is that the government stop their overreach, stop doing things that aren't legal. I mean, there are methods in place in the law that say you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and they say, we'll just change the policy within our agency and do what we want. So that's the second item. The third item is for term limits. And what those term limits are, who knows? And each one of these things would have to pass on its own merit in the states. So if the majority of states felt like, say they put together a bill and said the term limit's going to be 2 6-year sessions or 12 years, 15 years, whatever, then you got to step aside and let somebody else in. If that was what they decided to do, it would have to go to the states. And if it didn't pass, it didn't pass. So they have to make sure that whatever they put forth to the states is pretty significant.
You're going to go out there, it better.
But it was a really fascinating thought, and this was all written into the Constitution in the 1700s.
Well, when it comes to term limits, I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just the people I hang with. Every American I talk with thinks Congress should have term limits. I've never heard people. If they have, it's very rare that someone's like, no, they don't need term. And it's both sides. The liberals, conservatives, they all agree.
And I didn't believe in term limits till I got to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, when you have someone up there, and I watched it, I witnessed it, you have a state representative that shouldn't be there, that should have retired many years.
Yeah.
They walk up and they nudged him and told him which button to push. And I went, oh my, we need
that
term
person
limits.
should not be making decisions anymore.
No, not at all.
They should withdraw their name from the convention.
Oh. Yeah. And what's really nice about term limits, and I mean, like I said, I'm a county commissioner. Sure. For whatever reason, Santa Fe decided that county elected officials were term limited. And let me tell you, you get 2 terms, 2 4-year terms, and you get in, you get what you need to get done, and then you get out and you go home and live your life. Sure. And that's the way our founding fathers wanted it to be.
I don't think Congress was supposed to be
it's
career
not a
job.
Career.
You're supposed to come in with your expertise from the career, which is there to
and then you go home and you live your life and you let someone else. Yeah. We're not doing that, and that's why we're not getting the fresh ideas.
Absolutely.
We're not getting the younger people involved because they're all, well, why should I?
Yeah.
You guys won't let me in.
Your goal in life to be a congressperson should not be the goal. I mean, you know what I mean? Right. Like yes, you want to be, but that's not like, what do you want to be when you get old or grow up? I want to be a congressperson.
And certainly you don't want to minimize the experience that they have, but after, it shouldn't be a career.
Yeah,
you should come in as a freshman, hit the floor running. There are some people with some experience that are going to show you the ropes and help you navigate your way. You find your
and that's how committee selection should be done too in Congress. Not the whose back scratched who's.
Right.
If your expertise is oil and gas, then maybe you should be in that room. If your expertise is roads and maybe you should be in those rooms. If your expertise is social issues, then you should be in some of those rooms.
Right.
And I had asked to be on the education committee, but being a homeschool mom, the Speaker of the House said no. And it's like, why can't we have all ideas about education?
No, you want people that actually know what you're talking about in the room making those decisions, not that person voted on my thing or did this thing for me, and now they're head of a committee that they don't know anything about.
but the Convention of States, what's kind of interesting about it is it's been around for quite some time. We've had several movements over the years, and it's interesting because we have people that are out there that are passionate about this, and they're seeing more and more and more of the encroachment by federal government. And thank goodness for our founding fathers and their, foresight into some of this. I mean, and I always ask people, why can't we have the conversation? Oh no, we don't. Yeah, let's have the conversation.
Absolutely.
Why, don't be for or against something right off the bat just because the person who's coming forward or whatever. Let's have the conversation. Tell me why yes or why no.
Sure. And that's really
what is the deal? You don't want this to go to the people, to the citizens, to the states. My spidey senses goes up.
Right. It's like,
you
why?
want somebody in Washington, D.C. that has no idea, never been to New Mexico, deciding how New Mexico is going to use their lands. And that's what's so awful to me is I love this state. I love it tremendously. We are a very diverse state. We have so much beauty in this state. And you have someone from Washington, D.C. that comes down with their little magical wand and goes, poof, now that is federal lands. And guess what they do to federal lands, people? They don't let you on it.
Nope.
You can't drive on it. There's no more oil and gas. There's no more agriculture. You stand at the sidelines and you look at it and go, gosh, how pretty. And everybody says, oh, no, it's for public use. No, honey, it's not. The federal government says, we want this, and we're putting it out of agriculture, oil and gas and everything, and we're just going to watch it. And
a healthy landscape requires a multiple use.
Yes.
And there are a couple of initiatives coming from Washington right now. The U.S. Forest Service and their old growth rule. So they want to manage from Washington. I think there's 177 national forests in the U.S. And so they want to manage from Washington for all these to be old growth. And they don't come out and see them. Old growth means big, giant trees that are untouched by man. So that sounds an awful lot like what they've been letting go on for years, which is what caused the devastating fire in Ruidoso, the Calf Canyon fire, because they don't manage their forests. So they're calling it an old growth rule, which in essence, it's nothing more than another preservation rule. And they also like to mix up conservation and preservation as the same thing. Preservation means you just preserve it exactly like it is.
Right.
Conservation means multiple
managing
use.
it.
Yes.
But they have twisted those terms around to where it means something totally different. The Bureau of Land Management has the very same thing. They have what they call the conservation rule, which essentially trumps the multiple use on lands. So they can determine, well, on someone's whim from Washington or someone that's not from the area, you know what, from now on, we're going to take an additional 70% of our lands, just do nothing with them, and we'll call that conservation. And again, if you are doing nothing, you can't have people on there. It essentially turns all these into wilderness areas. You reduce the multiple use. There's no timber harvest, no oil and gas, no mineral extraction, no grazing, no agriculture, and the list goes on and on. But those are some of the things that we, as county people, feel are government overreach.
Absolutely. Well, and let's just face it, when nature goes back to nature, and you just unmitigate it, guess who gets left out of the equation? Humans. We don't get to, it's not for us. You know what I mean? And that's why the conservation part's so much important. That's why we talk about the hunting grounds and things. You talk about spotted owls and everything else. You know why they're leaving? Because y'all left the land alone, and now they can't hunt there because it's all overgrown and a mess. And that's why they're hanging out Walmart parking lots.
Exactly.
This is what happens when you let DC people make decisions.
On our way to Littlefield yesterday, we drove through Causey Dora, the areas over there, and those used to be prime lesser prairie chicken areas. The federal government came in and did conservation reserve programs. And they planted love grass, which is not a native grass. It's not a good grass. It doesn't have much value. But the farmers quit raising milo. Back in the 60s and 70s when there were milo fields over there, guess what? Those birds were doing wonderful. But they shut that down because we want this to be preserved. And so we'll plant a grass in there, and that'll make it good. Yeah. It's not even the right kind of grass. Right. And their numbers are dwindling. And I wonder why.
You let the people that live the land, know the land, have worked the land, and there are generations of people doing that land. Met them tell you what's best for that land.
Right.
You know, because they know way better. Yep. Because to be honest, and this is the part we say, they love the land. It's their life.
And the other side of that is over those towns all used to have a grocery store, hardware store. You know, there's nothing there anymore because you know, if you're not farming, if you're not farming, if you're not making a productive use of the lands, whatever that means, you don't have any money to invest in your community or your neighborhood.
So you keep this going, they're going to be, next thing you know, they're going to be like, you're only allowed to have 37 breaths per minute. You know, they're going to start counting your breaths.
Exactly. Because of the carbon footprint, really.
Given it's been 50 years since I've been through Causey, but the school roof has even caved in.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
But anyway, it was a very interesting process.
Very interesting. Good. And like I said, you know, it starts the conversation. Let's at least have the conversation.
Get people, and it opens people's eyes, because I think that's what it is when you show this to enough people and said, see, this is the ridiculousness, and most people, even people that don't know it, they can look and put two to two together, says, that doesn't make sense. Why don't you let the people that actually know what they're talking about actually do the thing? And 99% of people would probably agree with that. Once they see that's not what's going on, I think they jump on board.
Exactly.
You know? Well, again, you know, this is a time in our lives where we see a lot of people that say, you know, I'm about liberty. I'm seeking freedom. You know, don't tread on me flags on every street corner. And this is our way of being able to get our voice out there. It is something that we can do to force the government to listen to we the people.
Sure.
And so it's kind of an interesting process. And we will have a resolution. They provided a sample resolution. We will have a resolution for our commissioners to discuss next month and determine if that's a direction that they'd like to go. But it was a really fascinating. You know, when someone comes to me with something, I always have to vet it out.
Yes.
And I started reading. I didn't know about this. This is great. Yeah. And learning the history of our founding fathers and the intelligence they had was just really something. I guess we need to move on.
We
probably do.
Well, it was really interesting because, like you said, it's the beginning of our fiscal year and our agreements and resolutions that we have to come up with.
Kind of the fresh start.
And you know what's neat about all of this is that people don't realize that we have a lot of partnerships throughout Chaves County. And when we go through our agreements, it's, you know, putting in place our capital outlay projects that we have, improvements to here, to you know, to stuff that's around here in Chaves County.
Sure. Partnerships with various organizations that provide services to county residents, and that the county, you know, like a lot of times they say, hey, the county can't afford to build our own thing, but their services are provided, therefore we're going to support them supporting that. So you have a lot of those kind of partnerships.
Right, you know, and like we've talked before, the offset, you know, if you're providing a service, say to BOSA or one of these great
you're
service
serving
organizations,
the residents of the county.
We put a monetary figure on the services that they provide and say, okay, if you are going to lease this building from us, it's going to cost you $3,000 a month. You know? But you're providing $4,000 a month in services to our community.
So you're saving us some money here.
So you know, we can offset that.
Right.
We do charge a small administrative fee because I mean we do have paperwork to do.
Right.
You know, we have I think our lowest number on a lease is $400 a year, so $100 a quarter. And that are those entities that really provide a big service to our community, and there are a few of those
for the community because
it is.
Because in essence the county can't afford to do that themselves,
right?
And so therefore we would go without that happening. So it's a win-win. So the county is saying, hey, thank you for doing this. We're going to help offset some of the expenses or costs or whatever to do that, and vice versa. In exchange, you're going to continue to provide this service for our citizens of Chaves County.
And in most of these cases, they received monies from the state legislature or whatever to build a building, but the state cannot give that to a 501c3 or to a private individual, so they make the counties the fiscal agent. That's why the building belongs to us, because they had to give us the money, but we don't need that building. It was designed and built for them.
Quite frankly, I don't think the state should be making those kind of decisions anymore, to be honest. It should be down at this level, people that actually know the people that are in the meetings, and that's a great thing.
I agree.
You and your other commissioners are sitting there.
Southeastern New Mexico sends so much money to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And you have to go up there hat in hand, please, sir, give me my money back. Yeah. Sitting in those, and I've had mayors, you know, Dexter Hagerman, Lake Arthur, Roswell, sit in an appropriations meeting with me and listen. Well, Representative, you voted no on this, so why should we give you money? And they walk out the door and they go, are you treated like this all the time? And I said, no, they're treating you, my constituents. That's how they treat you.
Yeah.
Just because of,
we're representatives of the people at the end of the day.
And they were just shocked. Yeah. You're kidding me. We have to beg for our money to come back down here.
Well, it's a power trip. It's literally this power trip and kiss the ring and all this other garbage.
Yes.
And it's what it is.
And it's sad. So what's really nice is our representation in Santa Fe is fantastic. They come to our ICIP meetings. They listen to our needs. They listen to those throughout Chaves County and what they need, and they take them to Santa Fe. And we when they, finally gets down here and we go through and we have to put in these agreements and resolutions, and then we can move forward. I know it's a long process, and I know people get frustrated. Why can't we do that building? Why can't we do the improvements? Why can't we do it now? Well, there is a process.
Sure.
So,
well, it's glacial. And this is, and to be honest, it's all because at some point in some time, somebody did something shady that we had to put something in place to keep the shadiness from happening.
And they're looking at that now, too. Santa Fe decided this last session that they were going to look at capital outlay and make it into a grow fund. And, you have to use, your county or your council of governments to kind of go through. So, you're going to see that kind of come up during this next session too. But we were so glad and so grateful for the funding that we did receive, because we're working on so many things throughout Chaves County. I
handed you a page that people can get this off of our website. We're very transparent and open. This is just a quick overview of everything that the county is doing, the money, the total amounts of the budget, how that comes in, how it's allocated. But we have almost $17 million in construction projects going on currently in Chaves County. That's everything from the Brasher Road Bridge, which we've talked about for a couple of years. So excited to finally get that going. Of course, now the water's up, so we're on a little bit of a delay to actually get started.
We got low rain.
But we have that. We're going to do some renovations to Pine Lodge Road, the public health building. I mean, who would have thought we would be able to build a new facility for them that's going to be here 50 years from now. Dispatch, PVRCC gets new stuff. Detention centers got some stuff. Walking trails, the Cultural Plaza downtown. I mean, the county is
and they're broad projects from health and safety to quality of life issues.
Exactly.
We do. We try to really keep that balanced. And another one, we talked about 4-H and FFA. We bought a new building, a fairly new building.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun, fairly new building.
It's essentially a new building that was built and used for about a year and a half. We purchased that, I think, at a good price, and we're going to change the floor plan, and that'll be the new home for the Cooperative Extension Service.
And they're pretty excited.
Talked
to them a couple times. They're very excited.
When the 4-H and FFA kids come in for their meetings, they'll have a new nice facility.
That's an always evolving and growing program too.
And they have. I've been to the Master Gardener in the dead of winter when it's been kind of raining and cold, sitting in that building going, okay, can you hurry up, Drew? Because I'm freezing. I'm going to grab my cookie and go home.
Well, you can catch them once a month at the city library. They do their monthly Saturdays. I think it's like the third Saturday. Don't quote me on that. But it's like the third Saturday of the month.
But this will be nice.
There's also lots of other things that people don't really think about us doing and needing. But with our internal capital outlay, with monies, the commissioners kind of reward people for not using it and losing it. That terrible mentality.
Sure.
Every one of our departments, I believe, gives money back at the end of the year. Not that they overdo their budgets, but their budgets are pretty tight.
Sure.
But then they still keep the belt tight all year long, and all of us turn money back, and that turns into some money sometimes.
Sure.
Plus the additional revenues that come in, because we always underestimate what our revenues are going to be. So at the end of the year, we've got some money to spend.
Absolutely.
Our commissioners bought new body-worn camera systems for the sheriff's department.
Yes.
you've heard from Mike and Charles, I believe, about the grappler, the new net. That is so
I've
cool.
seen a few. They call it
videos.
demonstrations. I think they're just playing. But,
I feel so too, but I don't want to be on the receiving end of that
but
plan.
It's like Spider-Man. They shoot this net up under the car, and there's no more running away. Your car.
I think they're just doing it to each other for fun right now that they need it. But yeah.
But you know, cleanup of nuisance properties, camera upgrades to the jail and other facilities. You know, there are so many things going on. New road graders and things.
And here's the thing: it's a two-way street here, and this is where you want to tip a hat to our commission and everything else, because the you know, sure, the department heads and stuff, you know, by nature, if they're trying to do the best for the department, they're going to say, "Oh, I need this, and this," but they don't have to hoard or do that if the commission is actually listening to their needs and addressing their needs. And when they can't, they're giving them legitimate reasons why. It's like, look, I would love to give you this, but the budget does not allow for a new road grader right now.
That's what's so hard, too, sitting on a county commission level, too, is sometimes we have to say no.
Yeah.
And we have to be, because we are fiscal agents of the people's tax money.
Sure.
And we have to make sure that fiscally, is it sound? Is it for the good of the department or the people or whatever? Mm-hmm. And we have in the past. I mean, it's been hard, you know, to say no. But
to have that honest relationship and say, look, I really do want to help you. But and so
maybe next year.
And by default, they're going to give you an honest shake, and they're not going to try to fleece you for money. They're going to give you an honest assessment. And like you're saying, to their credit, if there is, they're giving it back and saying, all right, let's get it back. Right. And so that it's great when there's a trust there.
Yes,
and that's
very much
when the trust is there.
There's the trust between the staff, the citizens, the taxpayers, and the county commission.
Absolutely,
that's the trust all the way, and that's why our audits are clean when they come back. There's no questions, and we're
everyone's
very
doing their part.
Proud of that fact because it takes all of us.
Well, and you kind of touched on something a minute ago, and I don't believe I've ever actually pointed this out. We have all these departments, and you're right. My goal at my department is to make sure my department's the best and get anything we need and take care of business. But our department heads all look beyond that, and they look at the big picture.
The greater good.
I need all this from my department, but our department needs this.
I don't want to
share
to take from them if it's going to hurt their job.
And like you're saying, they have the understanding that as long as they're honest and truthful with the commissioners, if they have a need, an emergency, they come forward, we get it before the commission, and it's a done deal. They take care of them.
And I imagine over the years when you have a history of a department head that comes in and they're shooting for the moon and everything else, and you got to come in and say, look, you know, that's not how it's going to work around here.
Yeah, that's not our culture.
Right.
And then they either fall in line or we find someone else that kind
has
of
our culture.
Yeah. We are a very conservative group, and I say that.
A couple of other things that we did yesterday, we approved our local government road fund monies, and I believe they were right around $1 million this year we got from Santa Fe to assist us with our roads. Now that's reimbursable, plus it's a matching grant, so the state pays 75% of the cost, and I think we're somewhere right around 65 miles or something that they intend to redo next year.
Okay.
You know, they're working on last year's allotments right now, but about 65 miles, I believe it was, of what they call CAP, co-op, and school bus routes, cooperative fund, and then the capillary roads, and then of course
got to get things or people to one place, and then it's got priority.
Right. And that's another partnership that we have with the state. You know, and people always say, you know, show me what you're doing, and it's like, here, look at these roads, look at the infrastructure. That's what we're doing.
And again, this is one of the things that we have to get done in July. You know.
Yes.
There's a lot of work on the backside. We have to estimate first of all, we have to evaluate which roads it's going to be.
Sure.
We have to estimate how much materials are going to cost, you know, crystal ball kind of stuff, how much rock we need, how many man hours we're going to need, and we present all that to the state. They have to review it, everything, make sure it's all legit, make sure that we're within 6 or 8 years of having been done before. We can't just put the same road in every year. They send it back. We have to go through this entire process and get it get it done.
And that's why sometimes it takes years to see some of these the roads and the funding for said roads to actually make its way to where it's supposed to be.
And another thing I don't want to miss is we also changed the polling place for 2024 general election and regular local election.
Okay.
And just the one polling place that was at the Roswell Museum and Art Center, because they're under construction, it was going to be difficult for people to get in.
Right. Logistically, it's just not a good spot to hold an election now.
Just moved it right next door to the Convention and Civic Center, and of course it's
probably park in the same parking lot. Matter of fact,
it's nice.
As a matter of fact, you do. It's probably actually closer. The accessibility is there, so people will be able to come and go.
And people have to realize we have to make sure that the buildings and the places that we use for our voting convenience center have to comply with the ADA.
Absolutely.
They have to be ADA accessible.
Anybody that is eligible to vote should be able to walk into that place or get into that place to vote.
And they have to be, I mean, this is stuff that comes down from the Secretary of State. We just don't make this stuff up. And they have to be accessible, but they also have to be strategically in the areas that they are. People always say, well, why can't you put a polling place over here, over here? Our county clerk, Cindy Fuller, has looked at all of these places. She understands the needs, and she understands what is happening with the Secretary of State and their mandates, too, as to where these convenience centers need to be.
To be honest, it's such a great, since the dawn of the convenience center, it is such... Because I remember every year, where is it we got to go again? You're trying to consult your card, and it's the school, and you're like, oh, did it move? Dang it. And it's this whole thing. And I'm like, now all of that's gone. I'm like, I'm just going to go here, or I'm going to go to the clerk's office, or I'm going to go to this church and go vote, or go to the mall, or whatever it is.
We had,
I've got a month that I can work it into my schedule, not just this afternoon.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
And it was, I kind of had a hard time, too, because I was one of the olders that went to East Grand Plains. I knew the ladies that worked at East Grand Plains School, and we got caught up for the year. But now I've gotten into the routine, and I go to a convenience center, and now I've gotten to know the people there, and we get caught up, and I vote, and it's nice. There's the reasoning behind all of this is trying to make it easier for voters. You know?
Exactly, and for me, during the week's really hard, so now I can go on Saturday. I'll go up to the mall on Saturday and vote. Now I'm good. I got it,
But
go get your smellies, from your Bath and Body Works, and then go vote.
But you bring up a good point. I used to see Ron Carson at least once a year when I went to vote. So I'll shout out, Ron, sorry I haven't seen you in a while, but you got to come to the office now because I don't come see you at your office. So, voting convenience centers.
Right. But like I said, that was just one of the changes that Cindy had to make because of the Roswell Museum and Art Center. And that's another thing. Cindy and the gals down there, they have a great relationship with all of the places that we use. And we want to keep those relationships.
And they do an amazing job. And even, there's so many logistics on all that. And sure, every year there's going to be a computer that dies or fails or something. But they do an amazing job of getting that going.
It is, because I kind of check in, I'll go into the clerk's office, and if I walk in and see the faces, I'll turn around, walk out going, do you want a donut? Do you need something? Right. Because I can tell by the look on their face, it's not going well. Like
massage,
you said,
it's going to do a little quick chair massage.
Exactly. But people need to realize that.
And thank you to those volunteers and everyone. They are awesome people.
And if you would like to volunteer, you want to be a precinct judge or something, get in touch with them. They don't mind at all. It's a great way. Everybody can go out there and criticize and like I say, get in the circle and shoot within. But if you don't know the process, go down there.
I would say
go find out how the process is.
As far as civic helping. Short of jury duty, it's probably one of the more important things.
It is very much so.
Jury duty
Learn the process,
volunteering to help vote and things.
Yes.
I would put them on par with the same.
Oh, it's great. I have done it for many, many years, and I just enjoy it. Plus, it's a great way to see your friends and neighbors.
Absolutely.
Hey, so and so came in, and
it's really neat to see how the sausage is made.
And this sausage, let me tell you, with our staff, we have great sausage makers.
Good deal. Well, we're out of time. Is there anything we absolutely should have had to say that we just got sidetracked on? Because I got...
Well, one thing I want to say, and maybe you can give me a show sometime next week, but I'd like to talk about, we passed a resolution opposing the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge expansion from 6,000 acres for 2 locations to 7 million acres. We think that might be a little bit excessive. I mean, I think we can do a whole segment on that.
1 billion acres.
It's not overreach. On a piece of paper, I can get my arms well around that number.
I feel like Austin Powers all over you over here.
True.
And the only other thing I would like to mention real quick is, I handed you this budget sheet that shows how the Chaves County budget breaks down. So the largest commitment that we have is our detention center in Chaves County. That's $10 million a year, 27 cents out of every dollar that Chaves County takes in taxes and gets through gross receipts, all that kind of stuff, goes to the detention facility. $10,257,748. One of the things that we did yesterday was we approved a request for proposal and an award recommendation for inmate medical services for the detention facility. That is a huge expense, and I kind of touched on it last time when you and I talked. The governor had special session. She wanted to pull together things like we want to be able to commit people who obviously have a mental problem for additional time when they're arrested. The jail is not a mental health facility. The jail is a jail, but it's unfortunately a de facto mental health facility, and our cost is already, and it's not just Chaves County. Every county in the state, every county across the U.S. is having the same issues. They're the de facto mental health things. My question is, why didn't we take much of our surplus that we had and build a new state mental health hospital so people can, granted, people need help. We're not the people to help them. And it's a huge liability on each of our counties to deal with things that we're not
equipped or trained to do those
things. Exactly.
And it's not supposed to be.
And our costs just go up and up, including, the medically assisted treatment program that's going to be forced upon us, where we become the drug dealers for
no different than
people that claim that they've got an opioid problem.
It's like taking a person to church and expecting to do heart surgery.
Right.
You can't, it's
so
not
that's why we're kind of looking at some stuff to do here in Chaves County with that.
Maybe we can get something on next week. Talk a little bit more
implementing our own programs and stuff like that. So we keep them out of the detention center and put them in something else.
But as always, we really thank you for letting us come
anytime. And if we need more, like I said, we'll do whatever we got to do, and anything we do, and same thing with our commissioners. They always have an open. You please pass along to the others. Anytime they got a wild hair and want to come on, please come. Let me know. I'd love to have them.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right, 9:03. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
More on this story from correspondent Donna Warder.
Race Director Chris Kosman says the 135-mile race is invitation only.
To even enter, the runners have to have completed at least 4 100-mile or longer ultramarathons over the last 3 years.
For runner Carla Kent of Las Vegas, this is her 12th year.
It's the challenge, and it's just the Badwater family.
44-year-old Luke Thomas says there's just one word to describe the race.
It's suffering. I mean, I think that's the best way I can put it.
Daytime temperatures reach as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and night heat is about 100. Race Director Kosman says no runner has ever died during the race, but a few people have landed in the hospital. I'm Donna Warder.
You'll find breaking news and analysis online at townhall.com. CrowdStrike has blamed a bug in an important update that allowed its cybersecurity systems to push out bad data out to millions of customers' computers.
The bug set off last week's global tech outage that grounded flights, took TV broadcasts off the air, and disrupted banks, hospitals, and retailers. CrowdStrike also outlined measures it would take to prevent the problem from repeating. It includes staggering the rollout of updates, giving customers more control over when and where they occur, and providing more details about the updates that it planned.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting. The Justice Department has filed an agreement in which Boeing will plead guilty to a fraud charge for misleading regulators who approved the 737 MAX jetliner before 2 of the planes crashed, killing 346 people. The agreement was filed Wednesday in federal court in Texas. Boeing and the Justice Department reached a deal earlier this month. You'll find more stories, analysis, and much more at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to it.
Indeed.
We made it.
Final day of the Travis County Fair today.
And by the way, this is something, too, I'm weird. But like you mentioned earlier, the Olympics start today.
Yes.
Actually, technically, they've already started.
They
already
did.
had soccer and everything, but opening ceremonies are today.
Yes.
Here's the thing I'm confused on.
Okay.
Because NBC's showing the Olympics this year in the NBC Universal world there.
Peacock.
So I was watching the news yesterday at noon, and they said they weren't going to have the news today because they're showing the opening ceremonies, which would be live around lunchtime our time here. Now, that being said, what are they doing tonight? Are they going to replay it again tonight?
I believe they're going to replay it tonight for prime time, but we are 8 hours behind Paris.
Right.
I just looked this up. So for us, the opening ceremony begins at 11:30 a.m. this morning.
Okay.
And so I already have it set on Peacock, so it'll remind me.
Well, I think our local NBC channel will be showing it. At that time live, but that's why I was like, so do I have to watch it at lunch today, or can I see it tonight on NBC?
Do you have Peacock?
No.
Oh, you don't. That's right.
I have Channel 4.
Yeah,
that's NBC.
That's right. So I
wonder if they're going to air it on tonight.
I believe they're running it in prime time, although
because that's what they usually do. It's never live.
That's a good question, though.
Like every time I remember the Olympics, and whether they're in Russia or Sochi, Japan, or whatever it is, whatever Olympics there are, they always show it that Friday night or Thursday night or Friday night.
I think if it's
it's usually tape delayed.
I think if it's at an inconvenient time, they'll show it in prime time.
It's almost always, unless it's in the U.S.
Right. So it's like at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm saying, then they'll show it in prime time. I'm not sure tonight, as far as tonight goes.
Well, I'm just wondering. Like, I guess I got my lunch today. I'll go home and look on the guide, but that's normally how it is.
Now you, who has access to everything, can watch it whenever, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I have it set up with DirecTV on my iPad to watch like it, and so I just because I don't normally. I guess in theory I could go in there and do it, but my wife changes the password, and so I never remember it, so I just don't look.
Fine. Okay, but that being said, the opening ceremony gets underway at 11:30 our time. That's a great question if it's going to be shown again in prime time.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering if they're going to re-air it.
Actually, no, I think it is, because when I looked it up, it said it's going to air again tonight.
Okay.
So that's
what I kind
theory.
of figured, but I was like, Or do I have to watch it today to see it?
And you'll see all the different sports across the Universal channels. So some are going to be on USA, some are going to be on Sci-Fi. Some
Matter of fact, the soccer game was on USA last night.
Yeah.
The game, and it wasn't live either.
Team USA is playing, I believe, Zambia right now.
Yeah, I think it was women's soccer, and actually the game took place yesterday during the day, and they aired it because I remember watching the news that night, and they gave the score US won, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're going to show this game on USA here in about 2 hours. Why did they tell or at least put a spoiler alert up there? It's like, hey, if you're going to watch it, plug your ears.
I got to tell you though, I did a little research and I found out about. So we talked about breaking, how that's a new sport.
Yes.
The other one is kite surfing, which I'm definitely intrigued by because I feel I've watched some of that, and those guys can get some serious air off those waves with that kite. The one we didn't talk about
is actually maybe the one I'm the most intrigued about.
Okay.
It's kayak cross.
Like cross-country kayaking?
It's a kayak race.
Uh-huh.
But
for distance, like long distance?
I don't think I think it's just a short burst race, but the rules that go into it are insane. So all the competitors start off on a platform that's like a half ramp, 6 feet in the air. Okay. So the kayaks are just launched into the water all at once.
Okay.
And it's basically full contact kayak racing.
Oh, nice.
So you're smacking people with paddles, trying to push people over. But check this out. The only way to finish the race is you have to do a 360 barrel roll.
Okay.
Into the water. Like it's like a move.
Spin roll, yeah.
That's the only way to finish. So before you finish, each person is going to have to dunk themselves in the water.
So they have to cross the line and then do a barrel roll?
No, it's before they cross.
Okay.
So it's like right before they'll just.
Okay.
I'm genuinely intriguied about kayak. I can't wait to see how this goes down.
Yeah, especially as full contact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's all individual, or is there teams on this?
It's country teams, but I think it's
right. I didn't know if it was like a relay thing where there's like two Americans trying to beat the two French guys.
I didn't see if it was like a relay thing. I'm pretty sure it's just one person.
Or if they work like almost like roller derby style,
right?
You know what I'm talking about? Where you got a guy, so they're trying to bump the one dude up and all this other thing.
I'm pretty sure that it works. That it's just one person start to finish.
Okay, that's what I was curious.
The ones that I saw were just single.
Everyone's
racers.
for themselves, or can you work in teams? And
I'd imagine there's probably going to be some like.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if it goes along like world like political lines, like so Russia doesn't officially have a team,
right?
They in protest they aren't sending a team, but individual athletes from Russia have submitted,
right?
But I would imagine there's going to be probably some kind of like camaraderie out in the water.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if like what Latvia does.
Well, I'm sure
Ukraine.
they all know each other because they compete each other in various circles and things around the. It's kind of like allegedly, I saw a thing on TV about a week or two ago. Apparently, like the U.S. swimming team and the Australian swimming team, they're like a bitter rivalry.
Really,
like smack talking. I guess it's all friendly and jest, but they are two teams that are pretty rival in the swimming world. The U.S. and Australian swimming teams. I think they get the best of each other every year. They one up each other, and so they're kind of that's at least that's the impression I got from.
I fell out of the swimming world after like Michael Phelps, and then what was that other loser? That one guy.
Lead it in with that.
He was an awful person. He got arrested when he was.
Oh, you're talking about.
Not important enough to remember.
I know who you're talking about, but it was and actually, I don't think, like hindsight, I don't think the guy's that big of a jerk. I think he was just young and dumb and did something.
Yeah,
dumb.
I know.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like.
I'm gonna say it's like Sean something too.
Yeah, like years later they interviewed him and he was like, "Yeah, that was just me being really stupid. I really," but. Speaking of Phelps, like during that interview I was talking about where they were talking about the
Ryan Lochte.
The Lochte, that's it, yeah. But during that interview they were talking about the Australians. So I guess there was some video of the Australians saying something, and I don't remember what it was. But they were showing it to Phelps, and Phelps was like, "Oh yeah," he goes, "This video right here, I'd play that every day before I get into the pool." And remind myself, and so he was. So whatever it is, it's pretty bitter.
Is he in this year again?
No.
I was gonna say he retired.
Yeah, he's retired. But they literally said, "Hey Phelps, this is the Smack Talk Australia show. What do you think of it?" And he kind of reads and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is, I'd watch this every single time before I get in the pool."
Motivation.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's already quarter after. This morning's just zipping by. I feel like it just. Wait a minute, just happened. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Tammy Alvarez with the Fine Arts Lead is going to join us here in just a few minutes and give us an update there. Of course, they just had their logo design contest. They're also gearing up for the next charity event here, too, as well. So we'll talk with Tammy again now, get an update there, what's going on with the gallery and the Fine Arts League there, too. So
little Tammy talk.
Yeah. And then later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, A weather forecast. I'm not going to lie. You're not going to like it. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit above normal for the afternoon highs today. We'll be in the upper 90s and we get lots of sunshine. We do have a little bit of moist air moving in overnight, so a slight chance of a thunderstorm. We'll be in the low 70s. Might see an afternoon thunderstorm on Saturday, a mix of sunshine and clouds, and it looks like we'll stay in the upper 90s. For Sunday, getting hot, sunny, and around 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 79 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42%, with winds out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Sunny and 99 are expected high today, with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They say we do have a 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, otherwise an overnight low of 72 with south east winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For you Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 97. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, mostly clear tomorrow night. Expect an overnight low of 71 degrees. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For your Sunday, sunny, 102 for a high. South winds at around 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 73. And then next week, the work week, going to be hot. Monday, sunny and 104. Tuesday, sunny and 104. Wednesday, sunny and 106. Thursday, sunny and 103. So it's just all getting hotter from here. So wish I had better news, but it is what it is. One last hurrah to remind you that we still live in New Mexico before we get into what we call fall. All right, it is 9:17. We're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break, and then Tammy Alvarez will join us here on the other side. We'll talk art. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Pressure Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and all positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screening. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please apply in person at 2702 North Freeman in Artesia, New Mexico. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Summertime fun is almost done, and you know what that means.
Oh, back to school.
Roswell Honda's Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th from 10 to 1. Register your kids now for the free backpack giveaway. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, July 27th for free hot dogs, ice cold Pepsi products, plus face painting, snow cones, jolly jumps, and prizes galore. But that's not all. Roswell Honda will be giving away backpacks chock full of school supplies. Spaces won't last, so sign up fast. The Back to School Bash, Saturday, July 27th at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannick device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from many places, but the Fine Arts League, the gallery here, yes. Tammy Alvarez is back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Good to have you back again. How's your summer been?
Hot.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Unfortunately, it's gonna more of it next week.
Know.
So, but
I'll tell you a little funny.
Yeah.
So scorpions, right? Yeehaw! They always come in the house. Our cats will kill them. Whatever. If we find one, we catch it and we put it in a jar till it dies. Well, I use them for texture in my clay.
Oh, really?
And so and they've got great texture, right?
Okay. So
I got a blacklight flashlight and these big tweezers, and at night I go hunting scorpions. So my husband laughs at me. So I have a jar of scorpions. It's the price I pay for art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't been stung, have you?
You know, when we first moved here, they really creeped me out. I was kind of scared of them.
Yeah.
Until I got stung the first time.
Then it wasn't so big a deal.
No, because it hurts really bad, but it immediately starts going away.
Gotcha.
And 10 minutes later, it was like nothing.
It's kind of like a bee thing. As long as one does
better,
it. Yeah.
Better than that even.
Yeah.
So now they just kind of creep me out. But if you catch a big one, the tweezers are like medical tweezers, so you pinch them to open them, and then you let go and it holds them. Those little suckers are fighting, and they're like, yee.
They got some strength.
They're not happy.
Yeah.
They're not happy when I get them.
So probably a few hungry vinegrones around your neighborhood.
I have never seen a live vinegrone.
Oh, really?
Never.
That's because you keep catching them all. I guess they don't hang out at your house.
No,
but I've seen a few of them over the time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I can't imagine the first person coming across one of those and not knowing, because they're pretty nasty.
The smell evidently is pretty rough.
But absolutely. Of course, we would love to always invite folks to come on down to the gallery, the Fine Arts League, right here downtown, just in the Main Street corridor here downtown.
223 North Main.
Yeah, of course, for the Fine Arts League, which we'll go into, but the gallery in itself is really a host of our local artists. They can come and use it as a space for them to show and work and present their art.
Yeah.
They'll come in and work on their art, and of course, if you, the consumer, can come in and say, I want some art for my home or whatever. You got a one-stop shop. All of it.
And there's everything there. Oh,
could be paintings. Could be clay,
jewelry,
sculpture,
clay, metal, wood. Yeah. It's amazing. You
Anything
never know
that
what
people like to do in their backyards and sheds and basements.
That's right. And of course, some alien things. You know, we have to pay homage.
Kind of par for the course around here. Yeah. So, but and of course, the Fine Arts League is really this kind of culmination of all of these artists and just, all coming together
so
to
the way
do
it
art
works,
for good.
The Roswell Fine Arts League is a nonprofit.
Yes.
And the gallery is a project of theirs. So we fall underneath them. So the gallery wouldn't be without the Fine Arts League.
Gotcha. It's part of the umbrella that
That's
is the Fine Arts League.
That's part of their mission that they're trying to accomplish by allowing artists a place to exhibit and sell their art and to grow as an artist and to support local art.
Yeah.
So they're separate but the same kind of. And the gallery, we have, I think, 4 new artists.
Awesome. And always room for more.
And that's just the way it works. People move away.
Yeah. Life happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we definitely have some spaces available for a jeweler. For wall art, we've probably got a couple of spaces left. Okay. So we're almost full.
Sure. And you like to keep it eclectic. You want, you don't want every artist in there doing the same thing, and that's not very exciting.
No.
So you want that.
And we have 2 or 3 that do ceramic. Well, actually 4 or 5 that do ceramics, but we all do things different. 3 or 4 acrylic painters, some pastel, watercolor, woodworking, jewelry.
Any welders?
One of the jewelers there made this ring for me.
Oh, cool.
Because I wanted one, and so he did it.
Of course, I guess some of the welding is in some of the jewelry making, depending on the type of the jewelry they're making.
A little bit. Now, we have a person that was a welder, Bob Good, and his family had Good's Welding forever. Okay. And he does some metal art. He's gotten into ceramics. He makes beautiful photography.
I've seen some really beautiful things from that stuff. Yeah.
So, like I said, just a wide range. We offer classes. Children's classes, adult classes, paint parties, birthday parties. If you want to have an office party, if you have family coming in and you want to have the family night, if you just want a date night, just the 2 of you to do a cool painting together. I mean, there's so many options.
Recreate the ghost scene.
Well, we don't have the clay
wheel.
We don't have the wheel there, but
what we do with a paintbrush?
Yes, you could do a blindfold painting, which is great fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Seriously, so
kind of
so
one's
many
the
options.
eyes and the other's the hand, and,
Yep.
and they kind of work together to make something.
So it's
cool.
pretty cool.
Well, I would even see what a great opportunity if you're like a business or an organization trying to build team building kind of thing.
Exactly.
Have a paint party together, and they all
And we've
come.
done several of those, either as a thank you to those you work with, or team building.
Yeah.
But it's just, and it can be anything. It can be a painting. We painted rocks one time at a lawyer's office. Art is good for you.
Absolutely.
It is good for your soul. It lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your stress level. It's just great. So
It's an outlet for you to be creative, and this is something like we have artist Greg Birch on all the time, which he's been involved in doing lots of things over there. But one of those things is we tell you, it's the place to get that out, to get your thing, and what there's rules, but you can apply them or not follow them.
Exactly.
You
use them as a guideline and tweak them however you want to accomplish your goal.
Yeah. Now, I always say if you want to be an artist, you got to know the rules, learn the rules, and apply and execute them.
There was a famous artist that said that, learn the rules so you can break them like an artist.
I also think music's like that, too.
Definitely.
I think, sure. And now these days you can, in theory, get on a computer and let a computer make a song for you here. But the real good ones are the people that understand how to write music, how music is, how it's composed, how it's put together.
You can sing without a computer.
Yeah, it's, the science of the music, kind of like the science of art.
Writing is the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's structure, or you cannot follow the structure. It depends on you, but, especially for a first piece, if you want people to actually understand what you're saying, you might want to put some structure there.
You might. Yeah.
But that's the beauty of art. There's all kinds of rules, and then there's no rules, and you do what you want to do with it. And guess what? Maybe you take the next level. Maybe you create the next rule.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who's to say? It's just that's the beauty of art. Yeah,
it's just wonderful.
And as technology happens, there's more and more mediums. Sure. When we were kids and people doing things on computers was looked at as a hobby or something like that. But now the software and all that, there is a whole medium art there for that kind of that digital world and stuff.
Like graphic art.
Yeah. And so if that's where you find your creative juices, okay, then let's enhance it and see what we can do with that.
Definitely. So I want to tell people about the Fine Arts League a little bit.
Okay.
We've been around since the 90s. And we've recently kind of redone a mission statement. It's kind of 4 points of what we're about.
Gotcha. Kind of reassessed why you're here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to share that so people have a better understanding of what the Fine Arts League is. It sounds a little hoity-toity, and it's not.
Well, that's just it. I think most people think when you especially say fine arts, now we think Picasso and wine and and all that.
Yeah.
And it might be a little of that, but
it might be a little wine,
but no, it's come as you are. Come to be honest. The art world could be everything from, your hippy-dippy Santa Fe feel, Taos feel, to more what you're thinking right now and somewhere in between.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So here are our goals. First off is to further the education and broadening of artist abilities. So not only the artist in the gallery, but any artist.
Sure.
We want to help you grow. And being surrounded by creative people, you can't help but grow as an artist. It just happens naturally.
Rubs off on you. Yeah.
It does. To promote the public's appreciation of the visual arts. To help people understand that, like you said, fine arts isn't Picasso that you can't afford.
Yeah.
It can be something very affordable, and it just speaks to you.
Sure. And that's why I love something like you see street art, where you see these murals and things, because it brings kind of what you're saying to that level.
Right.
And to be honest, we talk about taggers and graffiti, and you're like, oh, but wait.
No.
How do you combat that? With beauty.
Exactly.
And even taggers respect it. You know what I mean? They're like, no, somebody does. I'm not desecrating something that somebody spent hours creating. And
and some graffiti art is beautiful.
Exactly. By the way, some of these artists are making 7 figures.
Thank you.
Doing graffiti art.
And it's amazing what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Third is to provide artists with the opportunity to exhibit and sell their art. There's not a lot of options that way. And especially if you're in a smaller town like Roswell.
Sure.
So we offer the chance for them to have a place to show their work and to sell it.
And it gives them a legitimacy, whereas, sure, we have an online world and sure, anybody can set up a Facebook or whatever to do that. But I'm sorry, when especially in the art world, and you're coming and it's like, look, I've got a space, I have a gallery, I have places where you can see my work and all that. It adds a different level of, okay, this is a legitimate artist versus someone who's trying to make their way into it and literally doing it out of their backyard. So So it provides that platform for them.
Yeah,
so when they're
very important.
Because like if some artists choose to, and this is where we talk with Greg Birch, he's one of those artists that kind of pushes into those circles.
Yeah.
He's trying to get into those upper echelons of that and the highest art communities in the globe.
Yeah.
And you're going to need some of that to get into that room. And so that's what he's using it for. But most of us, we're just trying to. Some of us probably started as a mental health thing, and then it turned into something a little bit more than that.
Pretty much. It was definitely self-serving in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And then last, to support the creative abilities of area youth and their interest and involvement in the visual arts. That one hits home with me. I think art is so important at a young age. And again, it can be any of the arts. It doesn't have to be painting. But I always told our kids, we were treatment foster parents, I always told our kids, better out than in.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold in the yuck, it's going to come out either in an illness, a physical illness, or in poor
10
choices.
times worse.
And if you hold the joy in, it's yours, but if you share it, it comes back to you tenfold.
Sure.
So whether good or bad, it's better out than in. And you can share a lot of your deep, secretive things, and not everybody's going to know your story.
Yeah.
But it still makes a great piece of art. So you don't have to, spill the beans if you don't want to, but you can still get it out.
Get it out in a way that it protects you, but at the same time meets your needs to do what you got to do.
And other people it's going to resonate with.
And I think art is that link for people that, when it comes to education for kids, because kids we don't learn the same. People do not learn the same. Some can sit down and take notes and be just fine. Others that's very foreign to them. It doesn't, and that's where I think art comes in, because I think for some people that don't necessarily can take notes and do that thing, but if you show them in a different way, in the creative way, then it's going to vibe. And I think art exposes that for kids, but also finds the alternative. Okay, now that we know that we got to input it in a different way, how do we do that? And I think art is kind of that link. And all forms of art. Sometimes it's music. Sometimes it's visual arts or dance. Anything. All of that. It's. I think that's the thing to make headway with children. Yeah. And I think and once they get that because we all are good at something. Yeah. I believe every human being has an inert talent at something.
Definitely.
And it's not the same. Right. Some of us are like I couldn't talk on the radio for it, but you asked me to draw a picture, then we're in trouble.
I proved you wrong.
Yeah, you're true.
I proved you wrong.
I did my inner Bob Ross to come out.
You did a beautiful painting.
But yes, that's and that's call it God's gifts, call it whatever you want. That's how we are, and so. Obviously, when we get to kids and trying to expose them and to give them as much opportunity to find their way in this world, art, I think, is that link to especially the kids that aren't getting it anywhere else, whether it's sports or in the classroom, it's just not syncing up.
Right.
Put a pencil in their hand. Put a music instrument in their hand. Put a microphone in their hand. Let's see what happens.
Well, when we were kids, I truly think it was a little easier for us to find ourselves. Mm-hmm. Yes, we had peer pressure and all that stuff. That's forever.
But you had freedom to explore.
But today they are being told, subconsciously and very outwardly being told what to be and how to be and da-da-da. With art, it helps cement their identity.
Absolutely.
And allows them to own what's only theirs.
Sure.
And that's so important.
Absolutely. So. And plus it gives others a chance, and especially for younger kids, because kids, they're learning and things, but they also just want to be accepted. They also want to have that moment of, I got a good job. You did amazing. Mm-hmm. And the first time they have one of those successes in art, that's the bug. That's the bit when someone said, holy cow, I would have never thought that you had the ability to create this.
Exactly.
That is so impressive. And that's where the bug gets cemented. Yeah. And that's where.
And you're never too old for that. We're talking about kids. But as adults, we get in our lives and we have our job and we have our routine, and it's sleep, repeat, repeat. And we have way more different stressors too than I think there were before.
Absolutely.
And so scientifically proven to lower your blood pressure, slow your breathing, allow you to step out of the world for a moment.
Sure.
It can be meditative. It can be prayer.
Yeah.
While you're doing it.
Super cathartic.
And grown-ups need that just as much.
More so in some cases. I to be honest, I turn on the TV every day. I watch the news, and you see the vitriol and hate, regardless if you agree with the people doing it or not. Does not matter.
No.
This is all people that are tired of life and tired of things, and maybe a couple hours in their own space, throwing paint on a canvas or throwing clay on a pot, or welding a piece of metal to make
like on
something.
Grey's Anatomy, dancing it off.
Yes, something. Just getting there with a guitar and going crazy, whatever it is. Yeah. I think we as a society need to find our thing, whatever that one thing is, and make it your own. Whether you turn it into a career or just something you want to do on a Saturday night when you got a little free time. Yeah. That's why art's so important.
Make your Christmas presents for the family. I mean, no.
My mom was crocheting. My mom was the crocheter. Yeah. She was to the point, and this is where I always tell, because she never sold nothing. She'd give it away, but never sold it.
Yeah.
And but she was at a level where, like, when you buy the books, the pattern books at the stores, and you see them, and you see the picture of the Afghan on the cover.
Yeah.
She made those Afghans. Like, she was making the Afghan for the print book, so they'd send her the stuff. She'd make it, take a picture, and then it would be the cover. So in the 90s and 80s, there's probably hundreds of those.
Your mom's.
My mom probably was her Afghan on the front of it.
Very cool.
But yeah, that was her love. And so, of course, when she passed, oh my boy, howdy, did I have a lot of stuff to give away.
Yeah, I know.
I still got blankets and things.
I know. I feel bad for whomever gets to clean up after me.
But you don't want to get rid of any of it because it's my mom.
Exactly.
And so, but anyway, to me, that's also art. Like that.
It is.
To me, because now when I think of art and stuff, I think of my mom. I see Afghans, I see things. It's a reminder of my mom. Yes.
Is art.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, no, there's so many things that qualify as art.
Yeah.
The gallery only focuses on a few.
Sure.
But we support all of them.
And if you don't do it directly in the gallery, we'll work your best to put you in touch with people that do also what you do.
Exactly. Yeah. And then just share the knowledge of what you do.
And who knows? Maybe if there's enough popularity, all right, let's make some room in here for the gallery. Yeah. There's enough demand and desire for it. Then we need.
All the artists have a say. We all come together. We vote on whether a new artist is accepted or not. On changes, so we all have a say.
Sure. And I imagine too, it's kind of a like you said, all the artists but I think they all probably work in. So, like, when each has their own project and they hit walls and things, I imagine they turn to each other to find solutions for those types of things.
Or you get creative sparks.
Sure, yeah.
Or translating that into a
writer's
different
block,
medium.
so to speak.
Yeah, we definitely get our slumps. But no.
Well, I imagine it's easy to get niche-y. Like, if you find something you like it, and then you start doing 37 versions of it, at some point you're like, all right, I'm tired of doing this mountain or doing this.
Well, quite honestly, my little aliens, I love them. But they're a little tedious.
But
they are super cute, and people love them. So of course I keep doing those.
Sure, but you're kind of like
otherwise. I'm always looking for something new and different, and I think a lot of us are.
Those don't scratch the itch anymore. Now you need something else to scratch the itch. Yeah.
They're cute.
Yeah,
but
and like you said, if that's what gets people in the door, then it's a win.
Exactly.
But you personally, you're ready to move on to other things.
Yeah, I like all the other stuff.
Yeah. So do you do just painting, or what other art forms do you? Is you a painter mostly, or do you get into other?
Lately, I've been focusing on ceramics.
Ceramics, okay.
But I do paint and draw.
Do you get into have you done woodworking, welding? You're like, I'm going to make a metal sculpture.
I haven't. I would love
or
to.
Ice sculpture or something like that.
I think a big old metal yard piece would be amazing.
Yeah,
but that's just one of those things. Probably not going to happen. But a lot of the artists at the gallery do several different mediums. So one does jewelry and fabric and paintings and ceramics. Another has Dia de los Muertos, the skeletons, and she does ceramics. Yeah. then with the photographer and ceramics and metal, so there are quite a few. We kind of get an itch and we go this way. And
I didn't even get into photography. That's a whole other world, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And we have 3 photographers, and they're each different and they're each phenomenal.
Well, and then, because, and that's a whole new world because you probably got the more modern and one of the digital and the manipulation. And I'm sure there's still a few old school purists with their dark rooms and film
my favorite,
and creating the way we did when names like Kodak were still on the lexicon of life.
Exactly. But so the Fine Arts League was a very big group. They hosted a worldwide art contest each year in August. And they really functioned in the community and had the gallery and all of this. But over time, sadly some passed. A lot of the founders were older when they began.
Sure.
And so it really dwindled down. We are growing it again, and we're so happy.
The next generations
that.
are coming in and finding their niche.
And so, we've kind of fine-tuned things. We're kind of reworking. But we've never had a logo for the Roswell Fine Arts League.
Until now.
We haven't, still don't yet. So what we're doing, and I've put it out on Facebook, but you can contact me as well. We are putting out for a new logo. And you don't have to be an artist. No. You can be somebody who has an idea, put it down on paper and submit it.
Absolutely.
If your kid likes to draw and they think they can do it, submit it.
Sure. Well, and if you think about it, some of the most iconic logos and just are pretty relatively simple designs.
Yeah, we don't want anything.
Yeah.
We want it fairly simple so it'll translate into black and white.
Yeah.
To keep our costs down on some of the printing.
Sure.
But it would be
less colors is better, cheaper.
But we do want it to be nice full color too. And anytime we use, so we don't have we don't have money. It's a nonprofit.
Well, it's a bunch of artists.
And it's little, But what we will do is every time all the artists will get to choose, everybody in the Fine Arts League will have a vote. And it goes through the end of August, so there's only a month left. We will include the artist's name with the image every time it's used.
Excellent. And plus, it's added to your own repertoire because generally artists, they have their book or their they're kind of like
instead of a portfolio.
Yeah, their calling card of their works and things like that, and this is a feather in that cap. So
definitely.
Especially if they're in the graphic design world, they're looking to get their designs for other things and say, look, this is the one I designed for the Fine Arts League.
Yeah,
and exactly.
So please don't be shy.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of went over what it is we do. It's so broad spectrum.
Sure.
You can't just put a paintbrush because that would be 1/5 of everything or 1% of everything.
Exactly.
So I want people to interpret what we do and get it down to an image, an idea.
Yeah.
And so there's no limits. There's no rules. It would have to be able to be seen small as large.
And make sense.
One thing to consider. And to translate into black and white if we needed to do that for like letterhead or something.
Sure. But also encompass the vibe of what the Fine Arts League is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I wish I had a great...
Well, you know what? If you're interested in doing the logo, please come in. If you've never walked there, come visit, meet the artist.
See what it is.
Shake hands, come walk around, see some of the art, get a vibe of what's going on, and talk to some people who you might want to hang out more afterwards and get involved and do things.
Pretty cool.
But that'll give you at least a kind of what is the community like, and what is, and that way you can portray it in a logo.
We are asking that a physical copy get dropped off or mailed to the gallery, 223 North Main, Roswell 88201,
right downtown.
And that way we'll have them to look over it and to make our decisions on. We'll announce sometime in September.
Okay.
And I'll probably come on with you and announce it if that's okay.
Absolutely.
That would be fun.
When's kind of the deadline you like to have all these in?
August 31st.
So you got about a month here to get it done, just a hair over a month to get it done here. So.
And like I said, just don't be shy.
Sure.
If you know somebody who loves to, just diddle and doodle.
Yeah, work together.
Yeah, we're...
One's got the idea, one's got the skill set. Let's work together, and one talks, the other creates.
Exactly. I know Greg has submitted.
Good. That's kind of one of his passions too. Is when he's not. I mean, he does everything when it comes to art.
Kind of does. Yeah.
Logos are kind of one of his divisions of what he does in art. There. So
So just Bring them in. I'm so excited to see what people have. Please don't be shy. I am hoping to have 20 or 40 different things to look at. You have an excellent chance of being the name of the artist for our logo.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I think,
and if you're new to the area, this is a great way to get your meeting the art community and come. We have Roswell's got an amazing art community. When it comes to a town of this size, we're kind of lucky there.
When people come to visit, and I tell them all the different things, the symphony and the way off Broadway and the theater and the museums and the artist in residence program.
It's like a mini New York City here
like,
sometimes.
Whoa, yeah.
We almost got like a Broadway district and an art district. We got these
We're
things
blessed.
sort of kind of.
We are blessed
You know what I mean?
you take the time to be aware.
No other town of around 50,000 has anything like that in the country. That. I guarantee Roswell's the most unique town like that, and it comes... because we are on an island a little bit, so we got to have our own airport, our own jail, our own this and that. So that's part of it. And then by default, the other towns come to us, and we're kind of the mecca for Southeast New Mexico. All these folks are coming from Artesia.
Well, we're so
hubs,
close because you've got Carlsbad, Lubbock, Amarillo, Albuquerque, Ruidoso.
We're 3 hours from everything.
Exactly.
And then the trick is, but at the same time, we're still small town feel. Everybody knows everybody. You say hi. It's got the Mayberry feel. You walk downtown.
During the festival, I had more people tell me how nice everybody is.
Yeah.
And that makes my heart happy.
Absolutely. And so we're very fortunate in that way where we do have amenities and access to things that are generally exclusive to towns much larger than ours.
And nice people to go with it.
But we also have the same small town vibe that you're like, I can just roll up, walk in, do what I think, say, odds are I'm going to walk into a store in here and I'm going to know at least 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True. You do know everybody. We are small enough you know everybody.
Yeah, and so to me, that's a perfect sweet spot niche. That's what you want. You want the convenience of you go up and get a restaurant or pizza or whatever it is you want at a fingertip. But at the same time, you don't want to have to wait in 20 lines or have the traffic. I mean, granted, I get it. You drive around here at lunchtime, you're probably complaining.
Exactly, which is funny.
Trust me, when you come from D.C. and those areas, this ain't so bad.
Nothing.
You can still get from one end of town to the other in about 10, 15 minutes.
So I want to invite anybody who supports the arts, like we've talked about, who agrees with the 4 things I read off. Become a member of the Fine Arts League. Take part in this. Help us grow and help us expand.
More members mean bigger and stronger and more things that the league can do. Yeah.
It's only $20 a year. It's not a huge outlay of money. We meet about once a quarter, so you're not going to be at meetings all the time. We want new people. We want new ideas. You don't have to be from here. You could have just moved here.
Sure.
Because all ideas are good.
Absolutely.
So please stop by the gallery, ask about how to become a member of the Roswell Fine Arts League. We will welcome you and begin to have some fun.
Yeah, and if nothing, come shop. Come in there first time. Come and see some, what do you got going on today? Come on down, maybe in the lunch hour, swing by to the gallery. Like I said, it's right downtown here. Can't miss it. And come walk around, see some of the beautiful work there. And then, of course, like I said,
the holidays are coming.
Yeah.
I don't know of anyone who would not prefer an original gift over an Amazon gift. And I didn't say that out loud. But over a gift online or whatever.
I know exactly what you're saying, yeah.
And we have layaway. You can pay a third down, a third, and a third 2 months later, and it's yours. So you don't have to, if you're like me, you don't have to outlay a big bunch of cash if there's something that you're in love with.
Snoopy people in your house, you can keep it on layaway. It's there, and now they can't accidentally find it.
So please, guys, keep us in mind. We love seeing our community.
Absolutely.
And would love to have you part of the Roswell Fine Arts League.
And if you go and you go on Facebook, whatever, you can go type in Roswell Fine Arts League. Matter of fact, you'll see
you'll see the gallery.
You see the gallery.
The gallery, and that'll kind of link you to us. The Fine Arts League doesn't have its own.
Okay, I think now that you say that, I remember right. I think I typed in Fine Arts League and it did take me to that.
Oh, good. That's good. I didn't know it would.
I kind of just do the search, but there is a post on there talking all about the logo contest and the rules and what you need to do for all that kind of stuff. There.
And again, contact me if you know me. Stop by the gallery. Call the gallery. we're just excited, and I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see.
So come today. Come if you want to. Yeah, come in there and check it out. Talk to some of the artists.
There's tables back there. Bring your lunch. We'll sit with you and visit.
At any given time, there's usually a couple artists hanging out.
At least one, and usually more.
Yeah, hanging out and just whether they're working or just chewing the fat or whatever they're doing.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then of course, one other thing that is related but not related.
It's not related. It's not related.
It's community driven. But but this is kind of your for folks that don't know, you had your first annual event here where we had local people, celebrities,
community leaders,
community people of note come in and paint a little what was it, about a
4-inch
4x4 painting. And then we had an auction for the charities, and it was all the money would go to charity.
Right.
And so we had everyone from the mayors to city councilors, coaches, youth, just people that are kind of known in the community, painting, sheriff, amongst others, myself. And then we had nice, great opportunity to raise some money for charity for that.
People got to nominate what charity they wanted. So the Roswell Homeless Coalition won. It was about $1,200 we raised.
Awesome. And so we're hoping to do year 2.
Yeah. So it's called For the Love of Community. I'm organizing it.
This is your baby. This is from your brain.
So we're kind of switching gears a little bit. But this year, what I found, people could nominate their favorite local charity to receive the proceeds from the silent auction we had. There's 3 or 4 that everybody knows. Well, there's probably 100. Okay. So what I'm doing this year, instead, I'm going to focus on the charities.
Okay.
They will physically be there, probably 2 to a table, with their information, what they do, why they do.
So getting the word out about these groups.
Yes.
Even if we can't get them all the money, we can get them people and other resources.
There's lots of ways to support.
They're all probably looking for volunteers. They're all looking for bodies to be a part of.
And then what we're going to do, instead of a painting, we're going to do a 5-inch sun catcher.
Oh, okay.
And that'll be the silent auction item.
Cool.
And so kind of how the community leaders came and painted with me, representatives from the charities are going to come and paint with me. We will need a bigger place, so I'm not sure the venue yet.
All right.
So we'll have 2 charities to a table. I'm hoping to just fill the place up. So I know there are so many charities I'm not even aware of. If you look at the list, quote, there's like a list. If you go online to look for a list of charities, there's like 12 or something. It's insane.
Yeah.
So guys, please hit me up. I want to know what your charity is, what it does, how we can help. Then, again, everyone who attends gets to nominate their favorite charity. Now they're going to know about you. So there's going to be a better chance you could earn some of that.
Sure. It's all about recognition and getting these charities on people's radar.
And people don't realize how much good these charities do and how great it makes our community. Without them, we would be really lost.
And most of them just do it out of the kind of, like, some of these are grassroots, like right now we're getting into the back to school, and I know all the time I'm seeing people saying, hey, we're doing toy drives or school supply drives or haircuts or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, these are just the community trying to do their part. Occasionally, some of the major organizations get involved, but a lot of times these are just out of people's brains and kindness.
Like Wings for Life.
Yeah.
That help the kids at school.
Yeah.
The DUI, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a nonprofit to help educate and prevent and get the word out.
The Chaves County Health Council is kind of a one-stop shop for all kinds of stuff. That's all grassroots volunteers that people do that stuff.
So I'm asking you, please, please, please contact me. I want you to be involved. I don't want you to miss out because I don't know about you. And so I'll try and line up some music and some food again like we did. If the charities have some swag, a baseball cap, a pin, I'm asking them to donate a few pieces because that'll be part of the door prizes for everybody that's there. And just another way, just another way to get their name out in the community. So it'll be in February. The date and venue are not set in stone yet. I'll keep you posted. I'm hoping to get all the painting and everything done by November would be amazing.
And as you get more and more, especially some of the charities that don't have the platform some of the others do.
Yeah.
Please, as you get names, and let's as we get close to the event, let's bring them in with you from time to time. We'll put them on the radio too and say,
definitely.
Hey,
I would love that.
Certain organizations, like Food Not Bombs. That's one that kind of been going and doing a lot of work, and really that's all grassroots. And so, we've talked about them on the radio here, but I don't know how much shine they've gotten outside of that.
I don't know enough about them.
And that's what I mean. Let's see if we can help with some of these that come across your door.
So any of you who know,
put them on here on the radio.
Anybody, call me, text me, whatever, Facebook me.
Yeah.
Leave me a note at the gallery. Call the gallery and get I don't mind sharing my number. It's not private. It's everywhere. So it's 910-3661. Text me, call me. Take a picture of a card, whatever it takes, because the more I have, the more we're going to educate our community.
Absolutely.
The more growth these charities can have, the better it will be for our community. And that's what this is all about, for the love of community.
Absolutely. Getting it to a point where people help. And to be honest, it gets back to that mental health thing. People, like we talk about art for mental health, people also give back this way. When you were dealing with your own problems, sometimes rolling up your sleeve and helping other people with their problems makes your problems seem a little less important.
Exactly. So, anywho.
Good deal. So come by the gallery.
The main thing is get us a logo. Please, please, please.
That's the important thing right now.
That's the main thing.
End of August 31st is the deadline to get those in. So start percolating, creating, and researching right now.
Yeah, if you have questions, like I said, feel free to call me at the gallery or just on my phone or message me, however it works. I can try and better explain things. But basically, those 4 things, we're having a place to show our art, having a place to sell our art, having a way for artists to grow as an artist, teaching our youth about art and growing them in the creative
making it a bigger
things.
platform.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And we would like a logo that would be recognizable forever. We're not going to, this is it. You'll be it forever.
Sure.
And you'll get the recognition every time it's used.
Well, we look at human history. What are the things we look at? And it's always our art and history. The things that stand the test of time.
Yeah.
It's the Mona Lisas and all the art that sits in
Definitely.
That's the things that you look at. Some of the oldest things in history that we have. It's art. It's art.
Yeah.
And so be a part of that.
They say
community.
art was the first language.
Yeah.
They drew pictures before they spoke.
Exactly.
Or
that's
had
how
an
we
alphabet
communicate
and wrote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. Think of the petroglyphs and all the different cave dwellings and things that we have here.
That was the first
Sure, it's
language.
communication stuff, but it's art. It is art. We've learned the stories of these hunters because of what they put on the walls in the cave.
They left us that legacy.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So come to the gallery.
Yes.
Come by. Get, like I said, look for the gallery on Facebook. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, you can shoot a message there. And Tammy or one of the other artists or Fine Art League members will help you out.
Definitely.
Good deal. Well, thank you, ma'am, as always. We'll
you.
see you next time. And, I'm pleased. Let's get some of those charities as you get them on your desk. Let's set them up to come on with you here. And
I love that.
And get people on the radio learning.
I love that. Thank you, Mike.
Anytime. Have a good week and stay cool. I know it's going to be a little hot
I'm going home, getting on my home clothes.
There you go.
That's it.
Ice, fill up the bathtub with ice and just hang out.
Some days.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so much.
It is 9:57. Let's go ahead and do Wall Street Business Update. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jeremy House. The Federal Reserve's favored inflation measure remained low last month, setting the stage for the Fed to begin cutting interest rates this fall. Prices rose just 0.1% from May to June, up from the previous month's unchanged reading. A federal grand jury in California has charged activist short seller Andrew Left with multiple counts of securities fraud for a $16 million stock market manipulation scheme. The Department of Justice says Left is charged with 1 count of engaging in a securities fraud scheme, 17 counts of securities fraud, and 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. Some U.S. states are scrapping investments in Chinese companies amid tensions between the countries with the world's largest economies. Those states include Indiana, Florida, and Missouri. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jeremy House.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Upgrade from your old vehicle into a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle for less during the summer sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. From now till the end of the month, Roswell Ford needs to sell 58 new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicles to hit our sales goal. So we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 1515 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to smart home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber to home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? It's simple.